You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Bradford Bruns pinch hitting for Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. 2:02, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. No Jamie Rivers today. Jamie celebrated, even though his birthday was in March, like the rest of us.
Kind of strange.
Yeah, which, Carey, I thought that was very funny. That you made note of that when we were on the stage last night. Jamie celebrated his 50th birthday last night, and it was a great time.
Yeah,
we had a great time. Yeah, so Carey and I moving a little slower today, so Bradford, you're going to have to take over a lot.
Got to keep those feet moving.
We'll be all right, though. It's a Friday. It'll be good. But, yeah, it was a fun night.
Yeah, it was a great night. We had fun, man. We had laughed, had a few beverages, a few more. And, and just, shot the breeze, man. We had a great time and had fun celebrating Jamie, his birthday in May. That was in March. I said I'm confused about, but you get through it when you can.
Yeah, that was fun. So, Sean, we met Sean Rivers.
Oh, Sean is awesome.
Sean is awesome.
He is hilarious.
He told the story. So, there's the restaurant that we were at, they had a little section up front where, they had some microphones. If you want to say something, you can say. So Sean Rivers, Jamie's brother, gets on the mic and he starts telling a story, basically how he entered Jamie into a fight club at 5 years old. And Jamie, not surprisingly, held his own. But even Jamie, when he got on the mic at one point, looked at his mother, who was there, Mama Rivers from Canada. Mm-hmm. He looked at her at one point, I think it with tears in his eyes, and just said, "You're a saint." And then he paused and he goes, "Because Sean is a terrible human being." So he put it all on Sean. But no, it was a fun night. Good to see Reed Lowe.
Yeah, it was. I ain't seen Reed in so long, man.
Reed is a great dude. Lowe's is a great guy.
Dude, man. I ain't seen him in so long. So, yeah, it was fun.
It was a good time. All right, to sports. Cardinals open up a new series against the Kansas City Royals. And Kansas City, I wouldn't call them a measuring stick, but given the fact that their pitching staff is outstanding, I guess in some regards they are a measuring stick for the Cardinals. The question is Kansas City the biggest test to date for this Redbird team? If you mainly look at it from a pitching standpoint. Philly's better team overall, Mets better team overall.
Yeah.
But this pitching staff, led by Cole Ragans, Michael Wacha, though they won't face because I think Wacha just pitched. But Ragans, they'll face tonight. Tomorrow, they'll face Lugo, who was excellent last season, and he's got a 3.02 ERA this year. And then on Sunday, they wrap it up against they do face Wacha, excuse me. So they'll face Wacha on Sunday, who's got a sub-3 ERA. So from a pitching standpoint, I think you can make the argument that this is the Cardinals' biggest test.
Well, that's what you always talk about, the importance of pitching and starting pitching and getting guys. You want to have plenty of those guys that can go out there and deal. The Cardinals have faced some teams that have had good lineups, and we saw Sonny Gray kind of get roughed up a little bit, but the Cardinals were still able to win that game. The pitching, if this is the best competition that if this is the best test that they're gonna face in terms of pitching, we'll have a better understanding of what this Cardinals team is. I think I have been kind of on the. I've said it time and time again. I don't want to get on the roller coaster. I don't want to get too high. I don't want to get too low. Even when they were struggling early in the season, I was like, it's early. Mm-hmm. Don't get too excited. Then they started winning. I'm like, all right, just chill out. This 9-game stretch, I think, when the 3 against the Phillies, the 3 against the Royals, and then you got 3 more against the Tigers at home after this series.
Which is another stiff test because Detroit's 4th in ERA in baseball.
For me, this stretch of 9 games will give you a really good glimpse into what the Cardinals are. The first third has been good. They went 2-1 against the Phillies. Let's see what they do in the second third, and then let's see what they do in the last third.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the culmination of your road trip, one that has been wildly successful to this point, and it isn't taking anything away from some of the other stern challenges the Cards have had so far this season, even namely when you talk about the Mets having had New York at home. But I go back to the beginning of the Philadelphia series, guys, and we did, I think, hold that as a litmus test of some sort for the Cardinals. But by the same token, while you went up against a very talented left-hander, two of them back-to-back in both Sanchez and Luzardo, I think it's clear what we saw in the second half of that doubleheader that I don't want to classify Aaron Nola as damaged goods at this point in his career, but he is a lesser version.
Yeah.
He's a lesser version of himself. I will say, no hyperbole here, that you are facing 3 consecutive pitchers, the likes of which I don't believe you've faced so far this season. And it's not just somebody like Reagans, who frankly is an ace in training for this team. He hasn't exactly been stellar all season for Kansas City, but you know he has the tools. He's more than a tough lefty. He is going to be a very difficult matchup for you tonight to begin this series. No, somebody who's more than a reclamation project now in a Seth Lugo, a proven all-star last season. He's made that transformation from relief corps to a frontline starter. And then when you talk about Michael Wacha, in my opinion, guys, he's actually become one of the more underrated starters in the entire game. He went to Kansas City prior to last season, basically an under-the-radar signing, right? The win-loss record may not have been exactly what you wanted, but he had a tremendous campaign. He's followed that up so far this season, Stoltz, as you said, with a sub-3 ERA. So from top to bottom, especially from a starting pitching standpoint, Kansas City has been absolutely electric this season, and in a really good division to boot. Outside of Chicago, all of those squads in the Central right now, it's uber competitive.
Yeah, and in ERA, as people who follow kind of the advanced metrics, ERA can be a misleading stat. There are better.
Anthony, don't do that.
Well, you know, there are better metrics.
I'm a baseball. I love the game. Batting average, ERA, wins and losses.
Why can't we do both? Why can't we do both?
I don't care about the OBP. I do, but I damn don't.
Old school.
I am old school baseball.
It's cool. On base would be old school too. Slug.
I don't care about batting average. I just want the BA, the batting average, and not Bruce Arians. I don't want him at all. The batting average.
Super Bowl winner.
Yeah,
Ooh, Tom Brady.
He was. Yeah. Was he calling plays? We don't know.
Jamie made a great point that he don't think his headphones were actually connected. He was just, he had the headphones on. The cord was hanging somewhere down by his pants. Yeah.
The old school metrics.
Okay.
Batting average. Give me
ERA,
the ERA.
All right,
you can give me wins and losses. I don't give a damn about WAR. What is it good for? Huh?
I mean, it can be good for some.
Absolutely nothing.
Things. All right. Well.
Say it again.
Listen, Carey. You just look. Give me 30 seconds.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. You can.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
You can just,
All right. I apologize.
Tune out. Michael Wacha with the 2.96 ERA. Again, can be misleading at times, but even the advanced metrics, the FIP at 3.12. And you can read it just like an ERA.
Well, then just call it an ERA.
Because it's not.
Well, then I don't need it.
Fielding independent.
Yeah.
You didn't give me 30 seconds.
I'm sorry. You looked right at me. I thought you were inviting me back in.
Well, I was, because I thought I said the thing about the ERA. You can read it just like an ERA.
I said, just give me the ERA then.
How about this? How about I give you the FIP, but I'll just tell you it's an ERA.
All right.
3-1-0 for Wacha.
Cool. That's good.
And for Cole Raggins, it's 2.21.
Yeah.
His ERA, though, is 4.20. Which, again, it's misleading. It's not park adjusted. Doesn't, it completely removes the defensive element out of it so we can just evaluate the pitcher. A lot of people are like, why would you remove the defense as part of baseball? I know, but if we're evaluating the pitcher and the pitcher alone, it's just a better metric. All right? The bottom line is Cole Raggins has been great.
All right, if you say so.
And so has Wacha. And so has Lugo. So this pitching staff that the Cardinals are about to face in Kansas City, outstanding. Now, here's your reprieve. Offensively, it's Bobby Witt Jr., it's a dash of Garcia, and that's it. This Kansas City offense has been dreadful. Again, outside of Bobby Witt, who is one of the best young players in the game.
Are you telling me that Salvi Perez isn't quite the same guy anymore?
Not quite the same guy anymore. No, if you want some of those numbers, I guess I can just read you batting averages.
Thank you.
220-ish.
Just read you the old batting average here on
Appreciate
some of these guys. If you only care about batting average, which tells you very little. Boy, at Fangraphs, I can't even find batting average.
It's the first thing on there. You looking for the team?
I got it.
Team batting average? There you
Bobby Witt Jr.'s hitting 312.
That's a good hit. That's a good guy.
Miguel Garcia's hitting, let's see here. He is hitting 295.
After an awful 2024.
And Salvador Perez, who has led that team for a long time, hitting 221.
How old is he?
He's got to be 35.
Is that it?
Yeah, he is. He's 35.
Oh, he feels like he's like 43.
Nah, he's 35.
He broke in at such a young age, though.
He has an old face. He looks older.
What's wrong with his face?
He looks like an older gentleman. Like, some people, I was looking at a collage, not a collage, but a rundown of the Penn State team in like 1986.
Yeah.
They were freshmen and sophomores. Each one of those men looked like they were 35, 30.
Oh.
You saw that?
So
33 with like kids and
I didn't see
finance degrees working in finance. Like
I don't know if I saw the Penn State one, but I think I was watching like the old Miami, the U on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those kids in the 80s or whatever, I'm like, those are grown men.
He's at least 40.
Yeah.
He gotta be.
What happened?
Salvador Perez feels like he's an older gentleman. Always has been. Like maybe he just carries himself that way.
Are you 44?
Yes.
He's 9 years younger than you are.
Hell, he's been playing a long damn time then.
Yes, he has. Been great for them.
Distinguished.
Anyways, Carey earmuffs. The WRC Plus on these Royals hitters, the only two regulars above 100, which is just average, Bobby Witt Jr. and Garcia. Bobby Witt Jr.'s hitting his WRC Plus is 145. Garcia's is 133. Everybody else is below 100. Jonathan India, the prize off field or off season possession there, which I still don't get why he gave up Brady Singer for him, but nonetheless, he's at a 90 with one home run this year. He has not been any sort of difference maker.
Which all means.
And Pasquantino, I mean, he had a breakout year last year. And,
yeah.
By all means, what?
He was supposed to take that next step, Pasquantino, this year.
Yes.
Which all means everything that you outlined, Stoltz, the path to victory here, a series victory at minimum, is pretty clear for this pitching staff. Mm-hmm. To be able to continue to parlay the recent momentum into more success, albeit on the road. Because if you're talking about from a pure stuff standpoint, well, in the second game of that doubleheader, obviously, on Wednesday versus Philadelphia, you had Gray go out, and he was shelled unceremoniously. We understand that. But with some of the bigger question marks still to come, I think, in this series and tonight, we'll see exactly. Can Palante kind of duplicate from an inning standpoint what he just gave you, his longest start since 2022? You've got a Michaelis on deck, and then you would like to see what Liberatore can do as a series closer then on Sunday. It bodes well for Carey, I think maybe three, at least two of the more unheralded arms in your rotation to be able to be in attack mode against these bats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Cardinals are capable of doing. Like you said, this is a good rotation. It's a good opportunity. And the one thing that you have to do if you're the Cardinals is just keep stacking wins. Keep piling on. Don't get comfortable. Don't get, complacent with what you've done thus far. You've done a great job. Nobody cares. And when I say things like that, people look at me like, oh, Carey, what are you talking about? That's sports, man. Like, you don't wake up and just focus on what you did yesterday. You got a whole other game to play today. You don't worry about what you did 2 days ago. It doesn't matter. The one thing that I love most about sports, I was listening to Colin Cowherd when I was coming in. I told you I've been listening to him lately. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about, like, when you get in a slump in some sports, it doesn't last long because you can get right to it. Football, you drop a pass, the next play you might get a pass thrown to you.
Yeah.
Basketball, you miss 3 or 4 shots, you're going to get another opportunity. Baseball, it takes a while. You strike out. You got to wait for 8 more guys to go up for you to get another chance.
Right. And
that might be 2 innings from now, 3 innings, depending on, it might be the first or the 4th inning when you get another chance. So you can't worry about what you did.
Right.
Even if you got a hit, you gotta stay patient, do your job, and keep moving forward. And I think the Cardinals thus far have done a good job of not worrying about what's taking place the last couple of days, focusing on the task at hand. So hopefully they can win this series again. Get out there and get after them early.
Amen.
And I think getting to them early and getting those starters out, especially early in a series, you can kind of set their bullpen up to be in shambles for the rest of the series if you attack them and get to them early.
Well said. All right, that's Carey Davis. We've got Bradford Bruns pinch hitting for Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter. Last night, Winnipeg was able to stave off elimination against the Dallas Stars. In fact, they blew them out 4-0 in Winnipeg. How does this latest twist in that series make us feel about the Blues' ultimate fate? Kind of an interesting question. That's next on 101 ESPN.
You can now listen to 101 ESPN on demand. Get caught up on all our shows and podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. 101 ESPN podcasts are presented by the Schaefer Door Company. Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
Cleared out by Perfetti. Has a chance at the open net. Nicola Ehlers scores! There will be a Game 6 in Dallas.
That audio courtesy of ESPN as the Jets blank the Stars 4-0. They extend the series. They avoid elimination, and they set up a Game 6 in Dallas on Saturday. So that's kind of the question with this series. If it ended last night, I think we'd have a different take on this question I'm about to pose. But since the series, the Dallas and Winnipeg series, did extend, how do you feel right now about the Blues and their fate?
In terms of
watching the Jets now extend the series.
Well, I said that.
Does it change at all?
No, I think that you were a team that was 1.6 seconds away from winning that series and taking on the Dallas Stars. I think the Winnipeg Jets are a team that is probably a little more gritty than people have given them credit for. I think they are a team that obviously but got taken out of the playoffs in the first round the last couple of years. And they got a goalie who is great in the regular season, who seems to struggle in the postseason. And they got a team full of guys that are trying their best to keep pushing forward to potentially win a championship. So I don't take anything away from the Blues losing to the Winnipeg Jets. I don't take anything away from the Winnipeg Jets if they are to lose to the Dallas Stars. I just feel like it's the playoffs, and you got teams that are giving everything they got to try to extend their playoff life to play further and try to win a Stanley Cup. And sometimes you run into a bear, and right now the Winnipeg Jets are trying to figure it out, but the Dallas Stars have been better. Last night was a good job for the Jets, though.
It is the postseason indeed, and guys, no revisionist history here. You would have had a hard time convincing me before the playoffs even began, before the Jets in that series versus the Note suffered the injuries to Scheifele, had Morrissey go down in game number 7 for that matter. I don't know how many of the so-called experts would have actually put a Winnipeg going into the playoffs based on pedigree in the postseason ahead of a Dallas. Because even though Dallas didn't nab the President's Trophy, this is a team that is targeting right now is well within reach of its 3rd straight Western Conference Finals appearance and is tailor-made for that playoff style of hockey. That's not to take anything away from Winnipeg, but after that tremendous winning streak early in the season, it was a nearly historic start for Winnipeg this year in the regular season. Reeled off something like 12 consecutive victories down the stretch, in part due to the injuries, but also more ineffective play. This wasn't a team that was blowing the doors off of the opposition down the stretch, a little more vulnerable than a Dallas entering the postseason. So what would truly be surprising to me would be if Winnipeg were to actually engineer an about face and for once, Stultz, do something on the road, where this team has lost 9 consecutive games since back in 2023. This team won its postseason opener versus Vegas, hasn't claimed one on the road since then. So the biggest question is, can Hellebuck somehow figure it out away from Winnipeg? He was fine last night. He had a shutout. He faced only 22 shots. But what is going to happen tomorrow night? Now, that would be a tipping point that may cause me to reevaluate how the Blues ended somewhat. Not altogether, but somewhat.
If the Jets win tomorrow night, they'll win the series, and they'll probably go all the way to the Stanley Cup.
No.
Yes.
Ooh. I don't think that team's that good. And it's crazy. I know it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement because they won the President's Trophy.
Correct.
I don't think. One, they're not going to win on Saturday.
The reason why I say that is because, like you just said, Bradford, they haven't won, and they've lost 9 straight road games since 2023. If you can figure out a way to get over that hurdle, that gives you a level of confidence to say, okay, we finally got that out of the way, and now we can just play. And then you go back home for Game 7, and you already know how you play there. So for me, if they are able to win against that, no, you picked the Stars last night, and they got beat the hell out of them.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was there.
So that you weren't actually there. You
so
weren't
you were when I
Winnipeg.
made the pick.
Yeah, you were here. But that to me is there's something about a team that has been clawing and struggling and trying to figure out a way to win not even a championship. Find a way to win series. If you're able to go into Dallas tomorrow night, get that win, you're probably going to win the series because you're going to go home and you're probably going to win that game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing in the Stanley Cup.
And actually, that is in some ways reminiscent of what we saw last year, guys, the breakthrough of Florida when it came to actually winning the championship. Florida had to go through all those tests, right, in the postseason prior to actually winning it all, but finally clearing that hurdle and actually hoisting the chalice last season. Now you don't have any doubts about Matthew Tkachuk. You don't have any doubts about the Panthers organization altogether. Right. And wouldn't you know it, tonight, once again, you are on the cusp of being able to engineer this 2-zip comeback against Toronto, the number 1 seed, mind you, in that conference, and go all the way. The only thing there, Carey, about which maybe I would have a slight issue, I don't think that we can really quantify what it would mean for that breakthrough for Winnipeg to actually get it done, to get it done on the road. I do question, though, who's looming in the next round? Do you have the horses to actually skate up and down the ice and go toe-to-toe with it, Edmonton? Because the contrasting styles there, that's what would give me pause as far as making a deeper run.
Yeah, I just think that Connor Hellebuck in somebody else's building it's just not going to happen. And I think the Stars, they didn't win this game. They didn't win the series in Game 6, and I do think they close it out tomorrow. I think they won it in Game 1. So when they went into Winnipeg and beat the Jets 3-2 in Game 1, I think they won the series then. Because I just don't have Connor Hellebuck winning a road game.
This is what I talk about all the time when I talk about the mental aspect of sports. This is not a physical thing for Connor Hellebuck.
Right.
It is a mental thing. It is not he does not automatically lose the ability to be a great goaltender when he goes on the road. When he gets on a plane and lands in another city and sleeps in a hotel bed, he's not changing the person or the player that he is. It's in his head.
Sure.
And so if you are able, and this is what I'm saying, if he is able to overcome that thing, that whatever that is, they're probably not. You will probably see the best version, the Vezina Trophy finalist, the Vezina Trophy winner that you've seen. You'll probably see that version of him for the rest of the playoffs. That's my thought process. If they win against Dallas in Game 6, you might not be able to score. It might be hard as hell to score against him for the rest of the playoffs.
I think you're still drunk.
All right, I might be. I didn't get much sleep
from last night.
It's possible. Man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't disagree with you.
I'm not seeing it. I understand what you're saying. I do. I respect you.
I don't think you do.
I do respect you. I know what you're saying.
FIP,
yeah, because it's a good stat. Anyways, I think Dallas closes it out tomorrow night. I do not see Hellebuck rebounding into form here. Getting back to the Blues real quick, just putting a bow on that. If the Blues figure out a way to win one of those games in Winnipeg, I think they matched up. Like, the thought process was, they didn't match up well with Dallas. I don't know about that. I don't think that, even without Dylan Holloway, I think that would be a series that would also go 6 or 7 with Dallas. Because I don't think Dallas has the offensive punch to completely wipe out the Blues. And one of the narratives going into this Dallas-Winnipeg series was Winnipeg's too banged up, right? Like, all the hits and everything is starting to add up. Well, now we're in Game 6. This wasn't a 5-game series. This wasn't a sweep. We're in Game 6.
Not nearly as physical, though.
Exactly. So if the Blues went into this series against Dallas and they had a similar approach, where like, hey, we're going to be physical, but we got to lay up a little bit. I know we're banged up. I don't know. I still think the Blues would have given Dallas a really good series, just like Winnipeg is given.
Yeah, it would have been a really legitimate series, because at some point you can't understate, really, or overstate, I should say, the importance of when attrition comes into play. And even for Dallas, for example, right now, we're not exactly seeing from game to game a ton of across-the-board offense. What has been the biggest difference, to me, the biggest difference, Stoltz, in Dallas actually zooming out to the edge in this series, the singularly phenomenal offensive production of Mikko Rantanen. He's been the best from an offensive standpoint in this postseason stage, So he's been the difference there. Now, you never really know, not having Tucker in all likelihood, on the blue line as well for that particular setting, being able to try to move those guys, go away from the net front presence. In any event, though, it would have been competitive at minimum.
Absolutely. All right, that's Bradford Bruns filling in for Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Jamie's got the day off to rest and recuperate. What's trending is next.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
Start your day with the morning after on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, and Martin Kilcoy. Listen to TMA weekday mornings from 7 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The morning after is presented by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Palante aims to keep picking up steam. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Following last weekend's successful turn in Washington, Andre Palante again takes the ball tonight at Kauffman Stadium. St. Louis and Kansas City kicking off their three-game set roughly 4 hours from now. STL just captured 2 of 3 from Philly, whereas Bobby Witt's Royals dropped 2 straight against Houston. Elsewhere, NL Central leading Chicago is in action as well at present. As a matter of fact, Milwaukee will host surging Minnesota. Pitch-wise, City SC visits Minnesota United tomorrow with Battlehawks Stallions action unfolding downtown. This Sports Center update was driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
2 pros and 1 average show. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling. What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Just past 2:30 in the Gateway City. Bradford Bruns, Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis with you on the Fast Lane. Guys, it is time for What's Trending. And trending in reference to the golf world PGA Championship. No inclement weather there, unlike what we're currently seeing here in the Lou. Instead, you've got round number 2. Be safe out there. Round number 2 is commencing without a huge number of recognizable names at the top of the leaderboard. But I wanted to play you guys a little bit of sound from yesterday following yesterday's opening round, because right now the best, I think we can still say it, in spite of the breakthrough by Rory McIlroy at the Masters, the best, the world number 1 on the links would be Scottie Scheffler. But let's just say he had a few issues with the way the course was playing and how he was forced to play yesterday. Take a listen.
And when you think about the purest test of golf, I don't personally think that hitting the ball in the middle of the fairway you should get punished for. And on a golf course as good of conditioned as this one is, this is probably a situation in which it would be the least likely difference in playing it up, because most of the lies you get out here are all really good. And so I understand how a golf purist would be like, oh, play it as it lies, but I don't think they understand what it's like literally working your entire life to learn how to hit a golf ball and control it and hit shots and control distance. And all of a sudden, due to a rules decision, that is completely taken away from us just by chance.
So to clarify a little further, for normal PGA Tour events, okay, the non-majors, the PGA Tour is generally okay with preferred lie. So what exactly does that mean? If it bounces in the fairway, let's say you have not a water hazard, but you have a decent amount of water there in close proximity to the ball, to the golfer, you can actually pick it up, essentially drop it, get a better lie or a preferred lie. That rule is not in effect for the majors. It is not in effect this week at the PGA Championship. So in spite of Quail Hollow actually being impeccable in every possible way, you're going to have a little bit of mud on occasion graze your ball. So Scottie Scheffler took to the podium. He took to that platform yesterday. And this isn't the first time, Stoltz, I talked to you about it before the show even began. It's not the first time this year that we have heard one of the titans on the PGA Tour. Jordan Spieth comes to mind. Scottie Scheffler now. I don't think you're speaking to the average person, the average golfer, and trying to get that person on the other side to relate to you if you're playing on the best of the best courses across the nation. And once in a while, heaven forbid, that you actually have to strike your ball with a shred of moisture on it.
Yeah, so basically, Bradford, what you're saying is, and you're absolutely right, he's not exactly appealing to the common man here that is playing, maybe if they're lucky once a month, once every couple of months. I'm not talking about the retired person or somebody that is using golf as like a way to meet clients. I'm just talking about your average hacker, right? Who's playing on courses that, I mean, I realize it's not the PGA Tour, but you're dealing with all sorts of elements. But even beyond that, let's just talk about athletes. If I would say, hey, Carey gets to the podium after a football game, and it was sloppy conditions, it was wet and all that stuff, and Carey goes, trained my entire life to be a running back. Then I go on this field, I'm slipping. The conditions aren't great. How ridiculous that would sound in the game of football.
Sounds
or
bad.
Basketball or whatever. You're not talking about these golfers being in danger.
Yeah.
Like if Chubbs Peterson, who lost his arm,
damn gator,
to a crocodile.
Not a crocodile.
That's a little different.
Got his eye though.
Yeah, exactly. Bit mine. That'd be a little different, but it just sounds like sour grapes. It just sounds like these golfers are whining.
Anthony, I played in a game where we were playing the Dolphins. We won 3-0, and a punt was punted. Ball was punted in the air, lands on the ground, stuck in the ground. Mm-hmm. Didn't move. Never seen it in my life. The field was atrocious.
Was that like a Monday or Sunday night game?
I believe so.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was one of the worst field conditions. I mean, when you put your feet, like when you got in your stance, your cleats sunk into the ground. I barely got in the three-point stance, put my hand down, couldn't put all my pressure on there because my hand would be stuck in the ground. It was bad. What we didn't do was go to the podium and say, the reason this game was so bad, the field. Well, both teams played in it.
Yeah.
Is Scottie playing on this course by himself?
No.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everybody playing on it?
Everybody's playing on it. You know what? The moment we lose the strategic element to any sport is the moment I don't want to watch sports.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
And isn't part of his appeal also predicated on being that everyman? I mean, seriously, that's
that's Anthony's appeal.
You can stripe that now.
Yeah.
No, it's average Joe.
No. Don't.
Two professional athletes.
That.
And this guy.
Don't you discredit yourself. Average. We all are the average man.
I mean, he gets incarcerated temporarily.
Anthony? Oh,
Don't know about that.
No.
In Kentucky.
Not yet. Not yet. You never know. Yeah. Jeez.
Frustrating.
Yes.
Speaking of frustration on the hard court, actually, so for all intents and purposes, the New York Knicks could indeed end Boston's season this evening. Now, granted, the Celtics were able to push New York to a Game 6 tonight. However, the huge obstacle remains trying to win this series, trying to defend your championship without the services of Jason Tatum. Just had that repair the other day for the ruptured Achilles tendon. He's out of the hospital, meeting with the team, actually, hoping to conceivably pump them up that much more for Game 6 this evening. But, Carey, I'm curious because a few weeks ago when I was in for Marshy, we talked a little bit about, okay, as far as gas that is remaining in the tank for guys like Damian Lillard, for Jimmy Butler, both of whom have been eliminated now during this cycle. But when you look at this picture for Boston, it was already going to be different next season and probably drastically different with the huge payroll there. Brown and Tatum, they're on the books. They're not moving. They're not going anywhere. Right. But does this basically signal the start of a reconstruction of Boston's roster out of necessity?
I don't know if it'll reconstruct it. I think they still have, all of the pieces. They just won a championship last year. So you got Kristaps Porzingis, you got Jaylen Brown, you got White, you got all of these guys that are still a vital part. Drew Holiday, like, you got a lot of guys that are still a vital part of this roster. Losing Jason Tatum is tough, but I don't know that you have to go all the way to kind of reconstruct it. JT probably won't be playing next year. I don't know how quickly he can recover from the torn Achilles, but you're gonna have to manage without him. You probably try to add some pieces, whether it be in the draft or free agency, but to go all the way and make a hard left turn based off of one injury, I think would be kind of foolish. The following year, if he's unable to play next year, the following year, that team will be ready to kind of get back after it in their championship mode.
Based on your experience, does that sort of mentality change at all when you have a new owner coming in? Because that is the case for the C's. Does that alter the scheme whatsoever?
If it does, it would be foolish. And I think as front office ownership guys that are coming in, you have to trust the people that you either hire or that are already in place to kind of know the vibe, the feeling, the gauge the team as a whole, Marshy.
Nice.
And understand exactly where they are and what they need. And so I don't think it would make sense to go in a completely this is a championship roster. If Jason Tatum doesn't get hurt this season in these playoffs, I know they were down. They had lost to it. They were 2-2 at the time that he got injured, and now the Knicks they were, what was it?
It was 2-1.
2-1. And then the Knicks took a 3-1 lead after that injury. But it would be foolish to try to reset everything and start over from scratch. I think just staying pat where you are, waiting for him to get healthy from that injury, support him as much as you can, and when he gets back healthy, be ready, because he's going to have fresh legs, he's going to have had time off, and he's going to be ready to roll.
And for the purpose of this postseason, I would not whatsoever object to an old-school Indiana-New York throwdown in the Eastern Conference Finals. Give it to me. That would be fun.
That's where it's headed.
That would be fun.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. There was a big-time recruit that's actually from the state of Missouri that was, for all intents and purposes, going to go to Georgia. And last second, he and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, wound up with Miami. We'll talk about the charade and how you actually build a program in today's NIL world. That's next on 101 ESPN.
This weekend, it's an MLB doubleheader. Tomorrow, Mets and Yankees Game 1. First pitch 12:05. Then Sunday, it's Game 2. First pitch at 6:10. Your home for the MLB is 101 ESPN. yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
Well, I think my response to it is it's not the same narrative people like Pete Nakos are pushing right now. I mean, I think there's just a false narrative that's why I'm choosing. And I think that, I think relationships won out with Miami. That was kind of what did it for me. I mean, they spent the most time with me. They put the most effort into recruiting me. I mean, I've got a lot of skin in the game with all of these schools as far as like getting represented by Drew and making sure that I'm going to be fairly compensated. And I think every school has done a good job with that and being accommodating with that. And I think that anyone who'd say otherwise about how I've done my recruitment has been just misled.
So that was Jackson Cantwell, a 5-star recruit who's an offensive lineman, and he's out of Nixa, Missouri. So he's a native player. And he was committed, or he has committed to Miami over Georgia, Oregon, and Ohio State. Kirby Smart and Georgia kind of thought that they had landed the kid, and, you know, basically in the last seconds, Cantwell decides to go to Miami. Let me state this and then do a full stop. This young man can choose wherever he wants to go for whatever reasons. Full stop on that. All right. He has an opportunity to go play at Miami, Georgia, Oregon, Mizzou. If he wants to play for Missouri State, wherever the kid wants to go, and for whatever reasons, fine. My question to you, Carey, somebody that had coached for many years in high school, which means you also got a taste of what it's like for your students, your student athletes, to be recruited. And I think you got, at least a couple of years with the NIL storm?
Yep.
My question to you, Carey, is how do you build a successful program knowing that even if you're Georgia, you might not have what it takes to land that 5-star recruit because of NIL? Because I do believe that, and again, Jackson Cantwell, maybe he's telling the truth. It's like, it's a false narrative about the NIL. You hired Drew Rosenhaus. Clearly, you're looking for the top dollar. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Well, first of all, I want to give Jackson Cantwell credit. He was extremely articulate. Like, that doesn't sound like a high school athlete at all. He sounded like a guy that is in his 3rd or 4th year in the NFL. The way he spoke, just how he sounded, like he well thought out, extremely well articulated, and how he got his point across. But with that being said, I mean, this is where we are in college sports. Like, and I think the frustration. You know this by now, Anthony. I will always, in almost probably 95% of the time, side with the player because it's a free market. If I get a job and another job wants to hire me for more, who are you, anyone, to tell me that I made a bad decision or that, that's messed up? Go fast lane yourself, man. Because if you work for T-Mobile right now and they're paying you X amount and AT&T comes, knocks on your door and say, hey, we'll pay you double that, you're going to be wearing a blue AT&T shirt the next day and throw all your pink T-Mobile stuff away. You don't give a damn. Like, this notion that, you should have, first of all, he's not enrolled in any school. That's number one, right? And even if you are, and another team offers you more money or a better opportunity, you have the right to take that opportunity. I have no issue with Georgia being all in. This is your job. I've had conversations with coaches. I had a kid that flipped schools, and the coach from the school that he flipped from was a little upset.
Called you, did he?
Yeah, he called me and was upset. And I said, hey, man, it's the game. This is the business, baby. Yeah. Like, you're mad at who?
Right.
What are you mad about? Have you not had kids flip to your school? I know you have. So this is part of the business. You win some and you lose some, and you keep fighting and you keep going forward, and that's the end of it. So for me, it's all about what is the best for that player. If he wants to choose Miami over Georgia, cool. Is that going to work out best for you in terms on the football field? I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. But you probably got more money at Miami than you were going to get at Georgia. And who am I to tell you that's a bad decision about how much money you should get from whomever wants to pay you?
Right. No, I completely agree with that. I do think the other element is something you just scratched the surface on, though, which is, will it work out on the field? Now, for an offensive lineman, Probably. Not to say that offensive linemen, you obviously need cohesion and everything like that. But from a system standpoint, I think it matters more to like a quarterback. Choosing the right program.
Make sure you got the right O-line in front of you.
Right O-line, right system. Like if you're a pro-style quarterback and they want to run wing T, probably not the best spot for you.
Shouldn't do that.
If you're pro-style and this is the 90s, don't go to Georgia Tech,
or Nebraska.
Yeah. Right. So I do think that matters, and that is another element. At some point, I feel like we're going to reach a tipping point with NIL. I think it's going to come. I don't know when, but I do think at some point, somebody is going to build a program where, and maybe it's Georgia, where they say, hey, look, we're not going to pay you top dollar. You're going to be a first-round pick. And here's all the examples. Because at some point, the money just isn't going to be there. Somebody's always going to be willing to outspend you. Yeah. And it's probably going to be Texas. Like Texas has, I think, the deepest pockets.
Texas A&M is another one.
Texas A&M. I'll tell you another one in the SEC that nobody really talks about is Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. Ole Miss has some money.
You're right.
So there's going to be programs that are going to be able to throw a bunch of dollars at guys and swing recruits. Who's going to be the coach that sits in a living room with a parent and say, hey, I'm going to get your kid to the NFL. You want to play in the NFL? You're going to start?
I can give you that answer. It's one person that has done that. That's Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
He took a kid to Jackson State that had offers to
That's his son.
No.
I know, it's
Travis. Yeah. He took a kid that had offers to pretty much every school in the country.
He was committed to Florida State, I think.
And went to Jackson State, took a chance, and wanted to be a pro more than he worried about the NIL money. The NIL money will never be more than the NFL money if you are capable of being that caliber of a player. Now, here's the part that we need to be honest about. And I don't think that a lot of people are honest about this. Every one of those kids that are getting $1 million, $2 million, $5 million in NIL money aren't going to the NFL.
Yeah.
So you need to capitalize off of what you can while you can.
Sure.
You could get hurt the next year. Anything can happen. Mm-hmm. So there is no guarantee, you should take less. I don't agree with that. I don't think that Kirby Smart is going to get any players if he sits in your living room and says, "Yeah, we're going to pay him $500K less than Alabama will, but he'll go to the NFL. I can go to the NFL at Alabama. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll ever get to. We just saw that, and we did see that. We saw Josh Heupel put his foot down at Tennessee. Now I'm not going to pay you more. Okay, Josh, cool. Let me know how that works out for you.
I honestly hope it works out well, because in that case,
it's not, Anthony.
but Carey, I think at some point, I'm with you. He lost his starting quarterback. Reality is it's probably not going to work out. He's
probably fast laned.
He's probably fast laned.
Yeah.
But to me, and maybe he'll be sitting next to us in a year.
He probably will.
He gets fired. But I'd say to him,
he's gonna be sitting.
At some point, you have to put Tennessee in Tennessee above the kid. Because Tennessee's going to be there. The kid might not.
There's always a way to have a conversation. It's a negotiation. Just because you ask for $500,000 more don't mean I got to give it to you. It's a conversation. It's a negotiation.
Right.
So I come back.
He didn't show up to the meeting, and Josh Heupel said.
He didn't show up to practice. Right. And Josh said, "Oh, no, I'm done." Instead of, it's a negotiation tactic.
Yeah. And so go to practice, son. Come to practice.
This is a different world we live in.
We paid you already.
Cool.
Come to practice.
And you are, and Josh Heupel is going to be looking for a practice to go to in a couple of years because he ain't gonna have a damn job. So you can't be.
But where do you draw the line then?
You have to.
Because you can't play the game forever.
This is the way that it is now, and until they set something in place where this is a contract that is set for X number of years, 2 years, 3 years. This is a 1-year renewable deal. So is your scholarship. Most people don't know that either. Your scholarship, you got a scholarship to play. Your scholarship is a 1-year renewable deal.
Right.
And every year it's understood that if you go to class, you do what you're supposed to. You don't even have to be a starter or a star, but if you do the right things, they're going to renew your scholarship. They don't have to, but they generally are. And so all of this is on a 1-year, year-to-year basis that if they want to get rid of you, they can. And if you want to go to a different place and get more money, you can. And I don't have a problem with that. It's even on both sides. It was never even for the players for years, decades.
Listen, I agree. Yeah.
And now the players have more skin in the game. They can do more with what they have. And now people are, oh, this is crazy. This is unfair. Nobody said bleep when a coach left after recruiting a kid to go to this school. And then I had a kid that got recruited to a school by a coach. And literally the day after he signed, the position coach that recruited him the entire time was fired. That's not okay. Because this kid committed to that school based on the relationship that he had with this position coach. And then you fired him the next day because you wanted that kid to sign and get on your team and be locked in. And now you can do whatever you want to do. And now you got to play for somebody that he doesn't even know or have a relationship with. So it's a lot of dirty things that the coaching side has done. And now that the player, the momentum has swung to the player side, I'm cool with it.
Again, I'm completely good with that as well. That part of it I'm good with. I'm just saying at some point there's going to be a some sort of line in the sand, and maybe Heupel did it at Tennessee, where, hey,
somebody got to be the first one to step out and sacrifice themselves.
What?
I think, though,
part of me's going to root for Tennessee.
I think, though, that even the Tennessee example comes with a bit of a caveat, because we talk about where are the lines? How do we even go about the process of thinking about drawing them? Well, this wasn't just limited to one practice, the final practice before the spring game in the case of Iamaleava. No, rather, it had proceeded to drag out for months because he and his representation, they were looking for, angling for other opportunities. And for months on end, there were a lot of rumblings around the campus, according to various reports, that, okay, something needs to happen here. Tennessee needs to either raise up the ante from the original deal of $3+ million per year or else. So Tennessee went through this. As much as we want to allow Heupel to basically pump his chest and kind of applaud him for taking a stand, they were putting up with some behind-the-scenes nonsense for a few months. Let's not forget that.
And they put up with it because it hadn't reached that tipping point, and then it did, where he doesn't show up to practice.
When Josh Heupel is looking for a job, we can say, man, but you stood firm on that decision with your dumb ass. And all of the other coaches we need to take a stand. Go ahead, Josh. You do it. Yeah. I'll do it. I'll be the first. And then they see them lose, and they're like, yeah, that was a dumbass idea, Josh.
Well, but
where was Tennessee at the end of the year last year?
They got absolutely humiliated in South Bend.
In what?
In South Bend.
Against
Notre
Columbus.
Dame.
It was in Columbus.
Or against Ohio State, excuse me.
But in what?
In a stadium at the Shoe.
But what were they in? What was that tournament called?
Game.
What was that tournament called?
The playoffs.
Okay. And see if they sniff the playoffs this year without their damn quarterback.
I hope they do.
I bet they won't.
Hello, Joey Aguilar. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Joey Aguilar. Sounds like a kicker. That's not going to work.
May as well be.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. The Royals made bank after giving Bobby Witt Jr. the bag because he has been outstanding. Could the Cardinals have their own Bobby Witt Jr., and who might that be? That's next on 101 ESPN.
You can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams.
Presented by the Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, that's where you're going to find your next new ride. They've got over 800 new and used vehicles, all in one easy-to-find location. So we're not talking about any sort of lot hopping or you got to find what dealership under the same dealership group where your car is going to be. No, at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, when you go to autocentersnissan.com and you find a new Pathfinder or a pre-owned Altima, that exact vehicle is going to be on their lot among 800 new and used other vehicles, and it's going to be right there for you to purchase. And right now, during their Bloom and Vroom sales event at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, you can find no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans, no payments for 3 months on used vehicles, a complimentary new car lifetime warranty, a 30-day new car return promise, give you a little peace of mind if you want to bring the vehicle back if you're not satisfied, and 3 oil changes included on every new Nissan. They got financing options for everyone that walks through the door. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com. When you head down there in person, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan, where the inventory's big, the savings are bigger, and the nonsense is nowhere to be found.
WXOS, WXOS HD1E St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. Driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
Center field, and that will bounce up against the wall. And Junior's going to make the turn. A little belated effort for third base, but he's in there.
111 exit velo, and that's a missile.
We're here in Kansas City, and I believe that there's a bigger reason that why I'm here, and so I just really can't take it for granted and just enjoy every moment, because you never know when it's going to be your last day playing the game, and so really got to just love what you do and just enjoy it while you're doing it, for sure.
That was Bobby Witt Jr., the audio courtesy of Sports Radio 810 in Kansas City, where the Royals and Cardinals will open a new series tonight. We will play the lineup game at some point today in the fast lane. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, and our guy Bradford Bruns pinch hitting for Andrew Marsh. So the face of the franchise, Bobby Witt Jr., who you just heard, huge part of the resurgence for the Royals, who are now 25-20. Third place in the AL Central, but I think they're 17-4 over the last 21 games. I mean, they have turned things around, and Bobby Witt Jr. has been a huge part of that. He's hitting .312. There you go, Carey.
Yeah.
He's got a .312 batting average.
He's pretty good. 27
runs scored, 5 home runs, 25 driven in, 15 stolen bases. So far, he is more than making good on last February's 11-year, $288 million extension. Do the Cardinals have a player like this, and why is it Mason Wynn?
Oh, not for that number.
Maybe not for that number.
Okay, let's clarify.
Bobby Witt's got more power.
Okay, yeah.
The stolen bases are likely to be higher each year.
Mason Wynn, I think you give those numbers, those extensions to those players that you feel are going to be mainstays on your team and on your roster for years to come. Mm-hmm. That's the plan. You lock somebody in for 6, 7, 8 years is because you believe they're going to be a starter, and you're not looking to replace that player over that time period. Maybe towards the end of that contract, but not immediately. Two players that come to mind, and it would be Mason Wynn and Victor Scott, because I think that they both have solidified their role and their importance on this roster and what they're capable of doing. And I don't know that you have Mason Wynn. You don't have anybody that you're looking to replace him in this moment.
No.
Same with Victor Scott. Like, there was kind of a battle between him and Michael Ciani to start the in spring training to kind of figure out who was going to be your starter. Victor Scott won that outright, and it wasn't close. And so you're looking at him and saying, man, you're 23, 24 years old. You got a long career ahead of you. Mm-hmm. And I think the thing that what helps a team when you decide to do these deals early is you don't have to pay them as much.
Correct.
Right? You can pay them less than what their market value would be if you wait 2 years.
Yes.
Because that number is going to increase. There is no market.
You are the market.
You are creating the market. But the further along they go, and the better and the more success that they have, then they can start compare their numbers against, okay. Mm-hmm. Let me compare my number. Oh, he's making how much? 25? Yeah, give me 28 a year. Well, when you could have got him for 17 2 years ago.
Yep.
So I think that's the important thing. And I don't know if the Cardinals are in that market, in that mindset of let's lock these guys up sooner than later. But if you are, I think that those would be the first two that I would look at and say, maybe give Victor Scott one more year this year and then go into next.
He's got to prove it for a full year.
But I think Mason Wynn, if he does what he did last year and then adds potentially a Gold Glove into that, you don't need to look any further.
Do you guys remember a few months ago, X number of months ago, it was near the end of the 2024 season, and we played that game, maybe even off-season edition. We tried to project at the different positions across Major League Baseball. Okay, what's the average salary in relation to what the Cardinals were paying guys at that time? Mm-hmm. And how we were struck at that point by the figures at shortstop. But we said inevitably with this crop of ridiculously good youngsters, whether you're talking about Witt Jr. in Kansas City, Ellie, Gunnar Henderson, O'Neal Cruz at that time, at least a couple of years ago, go on and on. The price then, now, it's only going to skyrocket, right? So considering such a premium position, you know that by somehow, some way, Mason Wynn is going to get paid. Why? Because not only now is he flashing more than the athleticism, the gun, the cannon at short, he is everything that you want in a premier defensive shortstop. And I think it's almost time. Perhaps we're not there yet, but we're reaching the point at which you can at least consider, all right, it's more than a small sample size. What is he doing consistently with the stick at the plate, regardless of lineup position? And right now, doing a bang-up job in the number 2 spot. If you are that elite at your position defensively and you can hit, you can run to boot, you have to be cognizant of what the going rate is going to be. So start preparing yourself, start steeling yourself right now if you're the Cardinals organization, because you have a very good idea already as to what it's going to take to be able to retain him long term. And that is not an investment that we have seen this organization make. I'm not going to say ever, but for a very, very long time, at least in this climate, guys, over the last few years, it has transformed dramatically since the first go-round with Pujols, Molina, etc. Are you willing to go into that sandbox?
Well, I think that they're going to have to at some point, right? And this is a good thing if you're the Cardinals. And this is, by the way, the thing that will separate you from the Tampa Bay Rays model or even the Cleveland Guardians model, where you want to draft and develop. But as some fans pointed out when we were discussing whether or not the Cardinals can kind of win with this Rays Guardians model is, well, they don't hang on to their players, they being the Rays. Guardians a little bit more with like Jose Reyes. But, you know, are the Cardinals just going to develop these guys and then trade them away? That's what the Rays do. This is the thing that will separate it. You got a young player. Now, he's pre-arb, so I don't think you have to really discuss this for another year or so with Mason Wynn. But this could separate you from Cleveland and Tampa. We develop these guys. They have proven that they can hang at the big league level. Mason Wynn plays a premium position. We're rewarding our guys. Because you don't want to be the Rays. You don't want to develop somebody only to have to trade him at some point because you can't foot the bill.
Right.
It's not sustainable. It's one of the reasons why the Rays haven't won anything big, despite being a very successful organization over the last decade.
Yeah, but if you sign that deal earlier, there should be no way that you're unable to pay them and you got to move on.
You're right. It's part of the risk that you're taking.
Correct.
Because you're paying somebody that might be only in his second year or third year. You're paying them, but you're also, to your point, CD, it's costing you less.
Right.
So that is the trade-off. We haven't seen 7 or 8 years of you. We've only seen 2. But we're going to pay you this. We're going to set you up for a lifetime. Plus, you're going to still get another bite at the apple in 7 years. I actually think this is the ideal way to do it. You're paying somebody for what they're going to do,
right,
not for what they just did.
Right.
This is why free agency winds up being a really bad investment most times. You know, we get all excited.
Well, I wouldn't say that because
not all the time.
There's a guy in L.A.
Are you talking about like the best baseball player in the league right now?
Some people say.
Yeah.
And ever. Some people say.
I guess there's some exceptions, CD, to everything. But if you're the Cardinals or any of these teams, don't pay a guy that's 29, 30, 31 because of what you just saw. Like, we know what he is. No, you know what he was.
Yeah.
I'd rather see this where after 2 years they say, we're going to roll the dice on Mason Wynn. We scouted you. We developed you. You're a bona fide big leaguer, and we want you in a Cardinals uniform for the next 8 years. That is how I think they should operate.
So did the Cardinals, I feel like they did this, they did it with Colton Wong.
A couple of shorter deals.
Yeah.
Colton Wong was a 4 or 5. Yeah, I think it was a 5-year deal.
Like 5 for 45.
It was nothing
like
when you look back on it. And Paul DeYoung.
Yeah.
And I believe there was another player that they did that with as well. It may have been Alan Craig.
I feel like
Paul DeYoung and Colton Wong.
Colton Wong for sure, yeah.
We're 2 guys that I think we're definitely in the arbitration process that they signed. It's to me it's a good way to do it. It's a smarter way to spend because you're going to spend the money some way.
Yeah, 5 for 25.
5 for 25. So it's for Colton Wong.
Yeah,
5 a year.
2016.
Yeah. Those types of deals aren't going to now. $288 million. That's a little different.
Yeah, okay,
but at least you're paying him when he's 22, 23,
right,
as opposed to 32. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Did we just witness the end of the last great dynasty in not only in the NBA, in sports?
What are you talking about?
That's next on 101 ESPN.
We want to hear from you. Use the Scott Lee Mic Drop feature on the 101 mobile app. Give us your opinion on anything St. Louis sports with a mic drop.
Brought to you by the Scott Lee Heating Company.
Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
Great as Jimmy is, the playoff Jimmy thing has put Jimmy Butler in a conversation with guys that maybe are a little bit above Jimmy Butler. And sometimes the expectations of Jimmy Butler are the playoff Jimmy Butler expectations all the time. And that might not necessarily be who Jimmy Butler is.
That was Udonis Haslem on First Take, talking about Jimmy Butler being added to the Golden State Warriors and discussing just kind of the impact of Jimmy Butler on the Warriors. But really, the Warriors are still Steph Curry's team. And without Steph Curry, not surprisingly, Carey, I'm sorry, the Warriors didn't make it.
Hey, yeah.
Did we just witness the end of the last great dynasty in sports? Not to say there's not another one that could kick up. Because I've got one in the NFL that, quite frankly, I think is
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
They just lost Super Bowl.
Yeah, they also won back-to-back Super Bowls.
What'd they do last year?
They lost.
All right. That's all that matters. What have you done for me lately? Warriors.
If they win the Super Bowl next year, that's a dynasty.
Okay.
3 and 5. That to me is your dynasty. 3 and 5 is easy.
That'd be 4 and 6, wouldn't it?
Even more.
Yeah, 4 and 6 or 7.
Well, actually, wouldn't they already be a dynasty then? Because they won.
They won 3. They have 3. It's 3 and they've got 3 and 5.
They are an active dynasty.
They are an active dynasty. Yeah. So this question, did we just witness the last end of the end of the last great dynasty? No, because the Chiefs got one right now.
For basketball, no, because the Warriors are not done.
What?
No, they're not.
Tell us.
There was listen. That game 1, Steph Curry goes out. The Warriors go into Minnesota. They win that game, not with ease, but you miss your best player for pretty much the entire second half, and they still go win that game. Now they didn't win another game for the rest of the series. They lost 4-1, but you have that entire offense changes when you don't have the best player on your team because the offense is built around Steph Curry.
Yes.
Him doing the things that he does that no one else in the world is capable of doing. And you build your entire system based on him.
Right.
And when he's out, it makes life a little hard. There were spurts. There were times in that series where the Warriors would go 4, 5, 6 minutes without scoring a basket. And it happened multiple times in multiple games, and they weren't going to win. Are they done in terms of a dynasty? No. I think that the Warriors are going to try. I think they're going to try to find a way to get another superstar, even if that means moving on from Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, who is a player that his stock is through the roof. It already was, but he played phenomenal when he got an opportunity. He's a guy that was not playing at all and then got an opportunity when Jimmy Butler got hurt in that first series and then when Steph got hurt in that second series, and that young man made himself a lot of money. He's a restricted free agent, and the Warriors are either going to have to match what another team offers him or they're going to have to let him go his way and get compensation back. But I think that the Warriors will find a way. You probably have 1 or 2 more years worth of Steph Curry playing at his highest level. And then after that, we'll see where it goes. But I think they got one more championship run in them.
Bear in mind, there has not been a repeat NBA champion since Golden State did it, 17-18. Mm-hmm. I think it's fascinating, Carey, that you talk about going out and potentially trying to acquire that other superstar, whomever it may be. Because,
you know it is.
Well, the fundamental question.
Michael Jordan.
Hell, he probably would take him still, but nah. He's in Milwaukee, the guy I'm thinking of.
I like where your head is there. But the question, at least in the NBA, as far as I'm concerned, guys, is whether the star system, multiple stars at that, a la the Big Three, the Heatles from over a decade ago, does that system, the last few years demonstrated that system isn't as viable? I'm not saying it can't work, but as viable as it was just a few short seasons ago. Because you think about the way in which the talent is distributed now across conferences, across the league, and you're seeing teams basically make that championship splash one season at a time. Go back to Giannis and the Bucks. How about Jokic and the Nuggets? These are teams, these are players and teams, organizations we thought were in it for the long haul as far as maybe being able to rack up multiple championships. But this season, unless you're talking about an OKC maybe having that breakthrough, Boston, you can forget about it. I think it's exceedingly difficult to look at a team, to construct a team, especially from this point forward, and say this is a group that can stick together and have the continuity when the talent is so spread out to do it multiple years at a time.
Yeah, I think that they are. I just think that they'll figure out a way. Mike Dunleavy Jr., they Bob Myers walked away a couple of years ago. Dunleavy did a great job of bringing in Jimmy Butler, and that kind of righted some things that were wrong with that roster prior to the trade deadline. And I think that if this offseason, you're looking at Steph Curry and you're saying to yourself, we probably realistically have 1, 2, maybe 3 years left of the best Steph Curry. He's one of the best players. He's the best conditioned player. He does everything for that team. But if you get another star, and again, Jimmy Butler with Steph Curry, phenomenal. But Jimmy Butler without Steph Curry by himself in that offense, I think is just a difficult task for him. So you get a Giannis, and then you get they need, and I mean absolutely need, a big man. You got to find one. So I would.
So you're saying sell out for the final 2 years of Curry's time.
Yeah, I mean, not sell out in terms of trading away all your draft capital, but you got some extremely talented players on your. Jonathan Kuminga is going to be highly sought after.
Right.
That young man is a freak athlete, and I think he's like 24, 25 years old.
So why not build around him?
Very good question.
Because I think that's the pivot, right? Like
he's not, because
you're
he's
at the
not
fork of the road.
He's not Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Sure.
That's why.
But you're gonna have to give up him to get Giannis, right?
No
so
question.
maybe a sign and trade and
yeah.
and more, obviously, because Giannis is gonna cost
correct
the farm.
Maybe.
And that's a notion with which Steve Kerr would have no problem, because going back to what you said, Carey, I fundamentally believe trying to maximize the last couple of years of great play from Curry. You owe that to him. You owe that to your fan base. You owe that to Steve Kerr in the event that you're continuing to run with him, one of the longest tenured coaches in the league. So that begs the question, what is the pivot for Golden State? But trying to span across all of the different major sports here as well. We've talked about the Chiefs, obviously, ad nauseum. Is there another league, Stultz, right now in which you see some of the building blocks, maybe Dodgers aside? That seems pretty obvious too.
Right.
Who else?
And if I'll tell you what, if the Dodgers don't become a dynasty, it's one of the biggest jokes in professional sports. And I mean that. If they don't win at least 3 and 5, you're a joke.
They got 2 and 5.
Yeah. So
2 and 4.
All right. So you could better win this year then.
Okay.
If you don't become a dynasty,
I'm proud of you too.
With what?
Because you let that slide.
The 2 and 4? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the COVID year. Never mind. I lost my way for a second. So they have to win 2 more. 2 more in the next 5. And if you don't, with that payroll, not only from a player standpoint, with all the deferred money that you have, and the scouting staff, and all, most in baseball, if you don't win, Dodgers' biggest joke in Major League Baseball history.
Come on.
Other than that, I don't think it's. I think it's very difficult to build dynasties in hockey because the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win in all of sports. I mean, it is just a grind year after year. So I can't see necessarily. I mean, unless the Panthers win this year.
I might want to change my pick.
What do you mean?
For the Stanley Cup. It's too late.
You have the Stars.
I know.
You got a good hand right now.
Do I?
Who are you going to take? The Florida Panthers? Mm-mm. You're not going to take Winnipeg.
Nope.
Edmonton.
Because you like stars.
I love superstars. I love guys that get it done.
You like dudes.
I watch them damn Oilers. Man, they look like they playing so fast when they're skating up and down that ice. I'm like, man, they faster than everybody else out there on that damn ice.
You love superstars.
Because they got something that other people don't got. Like, I don't envy it, but I'm fascinated by people that God gave them something that we all can do the same thing, but damn it, you do it much better than me, man. I am fascinated by those types of people.
2 best players in the world.
Man.
Which is so funny because you played for the ultimate organization in the Pittsburgh Steelers, where you had stars, but not superstars. Like, Big Ben was never a superstar.
No.
Hines Ward was a star, not a superstar.
But Troy was a superstar. Troy is he's one of the, I mean, you name
Troy's my favorite football player ever.
You name strong safety, like safety position in general. Yep. He's one of the top 5.
Troy Polamalu, Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed.
There you go. And then I played with Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. Like, when you got them guys, man, them people, man, hey, man.
Them your people?
Them your people, them my people. Because I don't got to call a specific play. I just call a number. Give it to him.
You, go.
And we're done.
Yep.
Yeah. Something different about them guys.
What is your top 5 safeties of all time? Troy, Ed, Ronnie Lott.
See, do you put Rod Woodson in that? Is he a safety or is he a corner? I'm kind of.
I got him corner.
But he was an All-Pro and everything at safety as well.
Yeah, true.
Same thing with Charles Woodson. He did both.
I got Woodson as a corner.
I would put him at a corner. I would say I'm gonna put Steve Atwater in that conversation as well.
Yeah.
Like, Steve gets forgotten often.
He was great.
Awesome.
You know, if he played longer, Earl Thomas was really good too.
He was. I mean, he was a bat out of hell.
They played cover 3 almost exclusively, which means he was the center fielder.
And going and getting everything. Yeah.
But I just don't know.
I think injuries kind of did him in.
Yeah.
But Troy is in there. He's top.
Oh, Troy. I think Troy's the best.
Oh, Sean Taylor. We got text. Sean Taylor, Brian Dawkins, John Lynch.
Brian Dawkins was awesome.
Brian Dawkins was just like
what a hitter.
Sick individual.
He almost killed Algie Crumpler.
He enjoyed it, too. He
did.
And prayed for him after he hit him. You are a sick individual, man.
I told you the once I was covering the Lions in Detroit and the Falcons had come to town. Laura Malloy, I like it, just looking at you. I got hurt. Just look at me. I got hurt.
Yeah,
that was a hitter too, man.
Yeah, something fun about that.
Former Rams great Jason Sehorn just misses the cut. We don't talk about the past.
Yeah, we don't talk.
He's a corner. We put him at corner.
Secondary extraordinaire.
Yeah. Pull up your pants. All right. Lineup game. Home Run Derby next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
I love working with Mosby Building Arts. I love the fact that when we, in the Stalter household, we decided to go with Mosby to fix some doors that were causing some major problems for us in our basement with water damage, that we chose Mosby Building Arts. They are the right remodeling company. You don't want to have remodeling regret. You don't want to go with a company that comes in and doesn't treat your home like it's their own. You don't want to hire a company that doesn't really understand what the problem is and you're just left with more issues down the road. You don't want to go with companies, and they're out there, where you think you're saving a buck up front and all you're doing is kicking the can down the road because that same company will come in and say, well, you know what, we ran into an issue, and it's going to be a little bit more than we thought it was going to be. Mosby Building Arts, they don't do that. Mosby gives you that honest pricing up front. This is how much it's going to cost, because we know we measured everything correctly. We understand what the actual issue is, and we stand by our work. That's Mosby Building Arts. I cannot recommend them more if you want to go with a new kitchen, a new master bath, a new office, a basement. They do doors. They do windows. Call Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company, at 314-909-1800 or visit callmosby.com. You can schedule your free consultation today, and then you can see the difference for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Let Mosby show you that they are, again, the right remodeling company.
Sunday, Thunder and Nuggets Game 7. Pregame at 2, tip-off at 2:30. The NBA playoffs are on 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Redbirds hope to get their hacks against Reagans. Good afternoon. It's Bradford Bruns with your Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Tonight at 6:40, Kauffman Stadium provides the setting for Cardinals Royals. Ali Marmol tabs righty starter Andre Palante here, while KC rolls out lefty Cole Reagans. Right now, Cubs are ahead of those White Sox 6-3. Later, Milwaukee battles red-hot Minnesota. Minnesota United will host City SC tomorrow, MLS style. The Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
All right, you know what time it is. Time to play lineup game. As Bradford just told you in the Sports Center update, Royals, Cardinals tonight. They open up a new series. Cole Reagans. I think I was calling Raggans. It's going to get ragged tonight. I'll tell you that. The Cardinals are done with him. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He's a really good pitcher. Hopefully the Cardinals can string some things together against him. All right. He's a LHP.
Yeah, you know me. Yeah.
Lefty.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Show us Lars Nootbaar.
International superstar.
Watch out, don't run into any walls or anything.
Mason Wynn here?
Yeah, sure.
Show us Mason Wynn.
Duncan! Bring me that arm!
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Good-eyed guy. Vibrant, handsome, hair.
If I may. CD.
Do it.
Show us
Nolan Arenado.
A lot of people think you get in your mid-30s and your career's over, but like I always say, until they stop scouting, I ain't going to stop playing.
If I may.
Of course.
Show us. Wilson Contreras.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything worth doing is.
I hope that doesn't get old. 'Cause that's such a great. It's incredibly hard. All right.
All right. Now we got to lock in.
I think it's Herrera.
Go ahead.
Show us. Ivan Herrera.
Oh, Yvonne? That's a French-ass name, Yvonne. Yeah, my little croissant, little cheese on my croissant.
What's that from?
That's Leslie Jones. I don't know
From,
if it's Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she in Orange is the New Black?
No.
No, she's in the Ghostbusters reboot.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was in Orange is the New Black, too. No. Anyways, she's funny.
She is. Is he a catcher or is he?
No, he's a DH. Come on. He's no catcher.
Come on, man.
He's a DH.
That leaves questions. Because if he's catching.
No question to me. This is Pajes.
All right, you do it then. No, you do it. I believe in you.
Thank you. Show us Pedro Pajes.
Smithy, throw this at him.
That's hilarious.
You're out!
Like you and I looked at each other and go, I believe in you.
Jordan Walker?
You knew what I was asking for.
I did.
Yeah, Jordan Walker.
Show us Jordan Walker.
Die for every ball. It's boring otherwise, plus it looks harder.
It's too long. Too long.
Too long.
Perfect lineup.
Nah.
Show us Victor Scott.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
Man, that's
Run
fun.
it, Bradford.
That's fun.
I like that. It kills our lineup game, but I like that there's some stagnation here.
100%.
Like there's a little algae on top of the pond water. You know what I mean?
So this is why it was temporarily under review, huh? Because of you guys, how impeccable you were at being able to land the line.
Yeah, they were upset.
What?
You know.
Oh, the lineup game. Yeah, I got you. I thought you were saying we were under review.
Oh,
but
no,
I
no,
get it.
not whatsoever. Let's run it indeed. Starting at the top, your leadoff hitter and left fielder, Lars. Taylor Tatsui Newbar, followed by the shortstop looking to cash in shortly, Mason Wynn. Second baseman, three-hole hitter is Brendan Donovan. At the hot corner and hitting cleanup, it is
Nolan Arenado.
Followed by Wilson Contreras, your first baseman. Designated hitter tonight, Ivan Herrera against Cole Reagans. Pedro Pajes behind the plate, catching, batting seventh. Jordan Walker, your right fielder, hitting eighth. And rounding it out, the speedster patrolling center field and hitting ninth, Victor Scott the second.
Back. Stay fair! Stay fair, stay fair!
Go fair, go fair!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run!
All right. Here's your home run derby standings. CD with 6. Jamie Rivers with 5. I have 4. And Marshy Marsh with 3. And Bradford will be doing the selections for Andrew Marsh and for Jamie Rivers. However, at some point we will play Beat the Streak. Mm-hmm. And Carey has already thrown it down that if Andrew Marsh does not select his own player, well, if he's listening, he should be sending in his pick. If he doesn't select his own player, the streak will end at 15.
It definitely will. His friends might be listening, Anthony.
His friends aren't listening.
They are.
They're playing golf. They're hammered.
They're listening.
They're hammered.
The Lindenwood Dynasty League. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I think.
If I may, you have to show up. You can't just go pulling a Ripken to extend the streak.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Right. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, imagine if Cal Ripken said, you know what, just put my name in the lineup. I'm actually not going to play.
Imagine if the lights just mysteriously would not have gone out that night.
Yeah, right.
Can't
Exactly.
You know.
Come on. Yeah, okay.
All right. We still don't have clarification on if Wynn is a three-pointer because I could have sworn he was. Don't know how in the heck Wynn became a two-pointer. It's a little trickery we got going on here.
Well, we used to have the things right on the rundown.
He wrote it down. He didn't write it down anymore.
It's not in. It's not even in the Google Doc.
Marsh's integrity is under question.
I agree. You know, honestly, I'm with you. I am.
Post-game show brought to you by.
He is.
I can't
we never
find it.
question his integrity, but
you know what? No, you're right. It's not in the Google Doc anymore.
See what I'm saying? And I don't know
like
why.
this at all. I agree.
I don't know how that happened, but we used to have integrity we could count on Marshy for integrity.
Yeah.
He took the home run points off of the dock.
Yeah.
He mysteriously made a bet of minus 199 on a money line. Oops, my bad.
It's not your bad.
Nah. It's under surveillance now, Marshy. We're gonna
watching
keep track of you.
Yeah. You cheating SOB.
Yeah.
All right, who do you want?
Give me I was gonna go with Mason. Give me Lars Nootbaar.
It's a good selection. He's got 7 Ding Dong Johnsons on the year. Give me actually it's Jamie's turn, sorry. So go ahead.
So Newt's it out for Jamie. His selection is going to be none other than somebody who's going to square up one of those meatballs from Mr. Cole Reagan's. Look for liftoff to be achieved by Ivan Herrera, the DH.
I should have went.
You're bad. He's not here.
Darn it.
He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't. All right, I'll take Wilson Contreras.
Who is Marshy getting?
Since you went with Wilson, we will go with Nolan Arenado to be able to keep hitting with runners in scoring position. A multi-run jack tonight to give the Cards the edge.
Bradford had a little spice to it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. You've been warned, Marsh. And maybe we'll just go ahead and beat the streak a lot earlier than what we planned.
I mean, we can do it.
At any point.
At any point.
It's our damn show today. All right. It's Fast on 101 ESPN. We are at the quarter pole in Major League Baseball. What are our takeaways? Not only in the Cardinals, but all of Major League Baseball. We'll discuss how bad the NL Central is next on 101 ESPN.
We want to hear from you. Text us at 314-399-9646 on the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation text line on 101 ESPN. yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
So we're at the quarter pole in Major League Baseball, and what are our biggest takeaways? Let's start local, then we'll branch out. The Cardinals being, and we've discussed this, the Cardinals only being one game back in the NL Central. Honestly, guys, I don't think anybody's shocked. I don't think anybody's shocked by this. But I do think that, given the fact that we were so skeptical coming in, let's give the Cardinals their roses. I mean, the fact that we're at the quarter pole, they're only 4 games above 500, but the way they started in April, this could have been a disastrous season again. I'm talking about what it was 2 years ago. Pitching staff has been excellent. The defense has been excellent. They're a fun offense to watch. If they don't hit home runs, they hit doubles. They manufacture runs when they need to. They can hang 14 on the board like they did the other night or win games 3-2. They're a fun team to watch again, which is all we can say as of right now. What it's going to be in a month, I don't know. But the fact that they're 1 game back of the Cubs and the product looks good, excellent. What more can you ask for in following an offseason in which I'm pretty sure Major League Baseball forced you to sign Phil Maton?
Whoa.
Not that you didn't want him.
You're glad you got him.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, baseball.
Yeah, I mean, if they forced you, hell, thank you. Maybe they should.
Really, Cardinals?
Really? Maybe they should look to them more.
I do think it's awesome, by the way, if they do continue to be on this pace and they win the NL Central.
Look to Major League Baseball for who they should sign more.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a great idea. Absolutely. Yeah. Not that they told them Phil Maton. They just probably said, hey, spend anything.
Dollar.
Yeah. And they're like, who's Phil Maton? We'll sign him. To hell with it.
Yeah, I think it's been great. I think, a quarter in, you're looking at a team that you had no expectations, especially not for them to be as good as they are right now. Mm-hmm. They've been outstanding. It's been fun to watch. I said this towards the end of the Blues season. Watching meaningful hockey was extremely fun. We hadn't seen that for a long time. I don't know if we're in the spot where we can say this is meaningful baseball, but it is good baseball. And hopefully in September, October, we're still playing these types of games where then it will be meaningful baseball. It's something that you desire in this city. Mm-hmm. Like you desire to watch your St. Louis Cardinals have success, have fun, score runs, have run
score
prevention.
More goals.
Yeah, run prevention, play the game the right way. On the base paths, I think they've done an outstanding job. They're stealing bases. They're, making pretty good decisions on the base paths and playing really well in the field. It's been a good brand of baseball to watch.
Yeah, meaningful is a really good word to use. And for me, I think I'll really echo the sentiments of a lot of people around here in the city. You hoped at minimum to be relevant in 2025. You didn't have these championship aspirations. Let's not kid ourselves. But in the midst of the retool, the youth movement, however you want to couch it, however the front office wants to present it and be able to project as much. To be relevant right now and to be 1 game out of first place on May the 16th is more than for what you could have hoped. And also, Stultz, you touched upon the style. It would be different if a lot of these results we were seeing over the course of the last couple of weeks, the 9-game winning spree, the ability to be able to play more representative baseball on the road, if we felt as if, okay, there are chinks in the armor. But given, Carey, to your point, the way that you're playing, the excitement level, being able to steal bags, and not just that, but how we're seeing actually this team and the coaching staff, specifically, I'll say it, the hitting coach, be able to implement and execute the adjustments on a game-in, game-out basis. We are seeing a fundamentally different approach at the plate from night to night based on who's on the mound. And to wit, you can think about it this evening. We'll see if the results are actually there, but in facing more of a hard thrower, somebody who's going to ramp it up there like a Cole Reagans. Last season, it seemed to be more of that one-size-fits-all approach, whereas this year, regardless of who's on the mound, you're going to have really a cerebral, meticulous approach, whatever the night may be.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm gonna throw some things at you guys real quick. And by the way, if you want to leave us a mic drop, discuss anything Cardinals related today, including the conversation we had earlier about Bobby Witt Jr. and how maybe the Cardinals could get ahead of things a little bit with some of their young players, i.e. Mason Wynn. Great. If you just want to kind of echo anything that we're saying today or debate anything we're saying today, fantastic. Leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Tire Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Couple of just kind of basic questions, and I'll answer first to give you guys a second. But biggest surprise in like the worst way. I got the Orioles at 15-27.
Bingo.
Oh, you mean
holy
around
smokes.
the league?
Around the league.
Okay.
Worst surprise. The biggest disappointment at the quarter pole. I'll phrase it that way. To me, it's got to be Baltimore. 15-27. A lot of people have them earmarked to win the AL East, and if not be a World Series contender. Their run differential is -74.
It's not great.
They got too much talent to have -74. But if you don't have pitching, you don't have anything.
Nothing.
Zero pitching.
If you don't have a quarterback, don't even play the damn game.
If you got two quarterbacks, it's even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got like a Mason Rudolph and
What did you?
Did you get my text the other day?
Yeah,
the video.
I saw that crap
where they the football team snapped the ball.
Oh, we need a quarterback.
And then snapped to nobody in the backfield.
Snap the damn ball. Nobody there.
Yeah. And said the 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Send this to the Steeler fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
Didn't think it was funny at all.
I didn't.
Thought it was terrible.
I didn't know if you saw it.
Thought it was hurtful.
Because you didn't respond.
It's like, I did. I laughed.
Did you?
I did. I saw it. I laughed.
All right. But you were hurt on the inside.
I was hurting on the inside.
Yeah.
I was laughing to keep from crying.
Your biggest disappointment?
I mean, Baltimore is a good one. Can we go with the Chicago White Sox again?
No.
Why
not when the Colorado Rockies exist.
They got 7 wins. The Colorado Rockies ain't even trying.
They're not even trying.
Baseball and 100 run average, and not in the right way.
They have a -137 run differential.
They do it.
I've never seen anything like that. Even last year with the White Sox.
The White Sox were horrible. I think the Colorado Rockies were like, look, you did well last year. Watch us. It's our turn.
White Sox were -306, so they got a long way to go. But you know what? On this pace,
they're halfway there.
At the quarter mark of the season. That's a joke.
They're halfway there.
You should be relegated.
Halfway there. Yeah.
You really should. This should be European football.
Yeah,
where you get relegated.
Send them down to
bring up a college, bring LSU up or something.
Oh, man.
That's brutal.
Yeah. That's not great.
No, not at all. All right, maybe we'll dive back into this, but we're a little late for the gauntlet where Bill, after beating CD yesterday, Bill's going to join us, and he's going to have to take home me, who he beat me, I guess, at one point.
Yeah, he told you that was easy.
Right in my face.
I haven't done that. That's cool.
Bill, round 2, gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
We're just a couple of weeks away from the return of the Dotem Golf Tournament with a morning after. Presented by Michelob Ultra, May 29th and 30th at Oak Valley Golf Course and Resort. Get your foursome together for a full day out on the course with TMA, including complimentary breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, all the Michelob Ultra, the 100 West Dental closest to the pin competition, a long drive contest courtesy of Pondoff's Anonymous Recovery Podcast, and an after party with food from Texas Roadhouse Thursday and Super Smokers Barbecue Friday. A portion of the proceeds will go to support the St. Louis Hero Network in honor of Brian McKenna. Friday's foursomes are already sold out, and remaining spots for Thursday are filling up fast. Find all the Dotem info now at 101ESPN.com. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. WXOS, WXOS HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Bradford Brun stepping in for Andrew Marsh today. Carey Davis, who faced Bill yesterday in the Gauntlet, and unfortunately he fell. So Bill is back for today's Gauntlet, where, as we discussed yesterday, Bill, welcome back. You're gonna square off against me, but you've beaten me like a red mule before. So
it was on my 80th birthday, so I got 2 years to catch up.
Oh. Happy birthday.
Today's your birthday?
No, it was 2 years ago that you guys beat me, January 23rd.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to the Cone of Silence. Good luck to you.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Bill, you know how this goes. Anthony is heading out. Uh-oh, he almost fell. He's headed out to the Cone of Silence. Tell Bradford to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Bradford.
All right, Bill, what are you hoping for? You beat me up yesterday in random. What are you hoping for today?
Well, I don't mind any other sport, but random is just pot luck. So whatever that comes up, I'll take a shot at it.
All right, Bradford, what do you got?
Well, we just spent the last segment talking about this very subject. Bill, you have baseball.
Okay.
All right, Bill, here we go. Bradford is going to get the launch codes for me, and we're going to get rolling. You know how this goes. If you answer the question correctly without the options, you get 2 points. If you answer correctly with the option, you get 1 point. And if you answer incorrectly, you get 0 points. Are you ready, Bill?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. In 2000, Pedro Martinez went 18-6 with a 1.74 ERA and 284 strikeouts. But another pitcher led the Bigs in victories that season. Name him.
And that was the year 2000?
Yes, sir.
Another pitcher that beat out Martinez?
No. Another pitcher led the major leagues in victories that season.
Okay. 2000. Give me the option, sir.
Is it Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, or Andy Pettitte?
2000. I think Pettitte and Glavine were out of it, but that's 24 years ago. Okay, you said Glavine, and who's the other two? Maddux and who?
Andy Pettitte.
I don't know if Andy Pettitte did it. Let's go with, shoot. I just think of pot luck. Let's go with Glavine.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, Bill, question number 2. Rockies DH Chris Bryant has now undergone a back procedure. Bryant has been limited to just 170 games with Colorado. But when he was voted National League MVP as a Cub, can you tell us the year that happened?
The year he's voted
MVP.
With the Cubs. MVP of the Cubs. Okay, give me the options, please.
They are 2014, 2015, or 2016.
Let's go with 2016.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
Question number 3. In 2015, the Cardinals won 100 games and finished with the best record in the majors. Can you tell us the club's leader in... What is that? I'm sorry. I couldn't read it. I thought it was doubles, 2 second base. Okay. Can you tell us the club's leader with 28 home runs that season?
I see what you mean now.
Yeah, it looked like second base.
Okay. What year was that, sir?
In 2015.
2015? Who led the team and who led the team and what was it?
With 28 home runs that season.
Okay. And that's 2014?
2015.
2015. Okay. 28 homers. 2015, let's see. Okay, give me the options again.
Is it Matt Carpenter, Johnny Peralta, or Matt Holliday?
Matt Holliday.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
And finally, Bill, last month, Diamondback Eugenio Suarez became only the second MLB third baseman ever with a 4-home-run game, joining who else?
4-home-run day, 4-home-run game. Is that just for last year or is that for the career, 4 home runs?
Ever. It's only happened twice. Who else did it?
Okay, Mark Whitten from the Cardinals.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. We'll get Anthony back in here. How do you feel, Bill?
I feel 50-50.
50-50? All right, we'll see how Anthony feels when he gets back in here.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carey, I surprised you yesterday with that Mia Farrow. That was just a potluck, yes.
That was a good one.
Potluck.
You got me. And then frustrated me.
I'm 82 years old, so I had a little edge on you because you said you weren't born yet.
I was not born yet, Bill. I had no clue what was going on in 74.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Anthony's back in. Anthony, how was the cone of silence?
Yeah, it was silent.
It was silent.
It was real silent.
It was silent in the building.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's a tornado warning and people ran out the building.
Dude, you should have seen CD. So first of all, I mean it was the exact opposite of what we're seeing now outside. It was like pitch black. It sounded like the roof was going to come off the place, and people were running. I mean, you can probably see from CD's camera. People were like running down the hallway, and Bradford and I were like, CD was
we're in South County, and we were getting heavy winds and everything down here, but no sleet or no hail. No.
Well, good. But CD was panicked.
Okay.
CD wanted to bail.
Yeah, I was wondering what the protocol is for if a tornado rips through the studio window. Do we just continue to play on like the band on the Titanic?
Is it between 2 and 6 on Monday through Friday? Then yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's safe.
They don't care, Carey. Do your damn job from 2 to 6. Okay, it's in your contract.
I don't think that's.
Tell them, Bill.
Yeah, that's right. Do your job. Yes, I get the ballpark. Do your job.
Do your job. All right. What's my category? Foosball?
Baseball.
All right, I'll take it.
Hey, you want to tell them?
We'll pack a lunch, sir.
All right. Question number 1. In 2000, Pedro Martinez went 18-6 with an ERA of 1.74 and 284 strikeouts. But another pitcher led the Bigs in victories that season. Name him.
In 2000?
In 2000.
We're going to have to cut this down. Options, please.
Don't say. Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, or Andy Pettitte.
Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, or Andy Pettitte. Well, I mean, all three of those guys would have racked up a lot of wins at that point. The Yankees did go to the World Series that year because that was the Subway Series, if I remember correctly, Yankees-Mets. But Pettitte was like a number 3 for them. Glavine or Maddux? I don't think he's a true outlier. I'm gonna go with Tom Glavine. Final answer.
Question number 2, Staltz. Rockies DH Chris Bryant has now undergone a back procedure. Bryant's been limited to just 170 games with Colorado, but when he was voted National League MVP as a Cub, can you tell us the year that happened?
Well, they won in 2016. He had an incredible year then. The year before, did he come up the year before? And that was the big not the arbitration, but the clock, starting the clock, and they sent him back to Iowa and all that stuff. You're going to be right around that time. So I'm going to shoot here. I'm going to say 2016 when they won the World Series. 2016, final answer.
Question number 3. In 2015, the Cardinals won 100 games and finished with the best record in the majors. Can you tell us the club's leader with 28 home runs?
28? 28 home runs in 2015. Okay, so no Pujols. Holiday was on that team. Yachty had like a 20 home run season, but you said 28. Who else would have been on that team in 2015? I'm going to ask for the options because I feel like if Mark Reynolds or somebody's on there, I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. But if Matt Holliday's on there, I'm going to kick myself. Can I have the options, please?
Matt Holliday.
Son of a...
Johnny Peralta. Matt Carpenter.
Johnny Peralta didn't hit that many, did he? I got to go with Holliday. Matt Holliday. Final answer.
Last but not least, Stalt's last month Diamondback, Eugenio Suarez, became only the second MLB third baseman ever with a 4-home run game, joining who else at that position?
4 home run game for a third baseman?
In ever, Bob.
4 home run game, third baseman. I'll take the options.
Those options are A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, Michael Jack Schmidt, or Chipper Larry Jones.
A-Rod, Mike Schmidt, or Chipper Jones. Oh, man. I mean, it could be any of those guys. A-Rod, Chipper Jones, Mike Schmidt. I'll go with the oldest guy in there. I'll go with Schmidt. Mike Schmidt, final answer.
Okay.
Whew. It's a tough one, Bill.
Sure is. That last question threw me.
All right. Where are we going to go? Let's start there. Last month, Diamondback Eugenio Suarez became only the second Major League third baseman with a 4-home run game, joining who else? Bill, you said the last question through. You took Mark Whitten without the options.
Oh.
Anthony, with the options, took Mike Schmidt. Correct answer is
from the city of brotherly love, Mike Schmidt.
Oh, that was
Anthony is up 1-0.
I'll be honest, I was lucky.
In 2015, the Cardinals won 100 games and finished with the best record in the majors. Can you tell us the club's leader with 28 home runs? Ding Dong Johnson, says Bradford wrote.
Nice.
You both took the options. You both landed on Matt Holliday.
Sure.
The correct answer is?
Why, it was the newly retired Matt Carpenter, of course.
Oh, wow.
Launch angle in full effect.
He had 28 that year.
He did.
Wow.
Bill, he's still up 1-0 going into question number 3. In 2000, Pedro Martinez went 18-6 with a 1.74 ERA, which matters, 284 strikeouts. But another pitcher led the Bigs in victories that season. Bill, you took Tom Glavine. Anthony, you also took Tom Glavine. The correct answer is?
Maddox had at least 18 wins. Pettit had at least 18 wins. But Tom Glavine nabbed 21.
Wow.
Bill is up 2-1. Final question. Rockies DH Chris Bryant is scheduled.
I'm up 2-1, right?
I'm sorry. Anthony is up 2-1.
Okay.
My apologies. Rockies DH Chris Bryant is scheduled to undergo back procedure, while Bryant has limited to 170 games with Colorado when he was voted National League MVP as a Cub. What year? I don't know if I answered. Bill, you said 2016. Anthony, you also said 2016. The correct answer is?
With the 292 average, 39 homers, 102 runs batted in, that happened in 2016.
Bill.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
He got you 4-2 today, Bill. You answered the question pretty well.
Fourth question threw me because I stated that I didn't catch that of the third baseman.
Yeah.
I was just the 4 home runs. Yeah.
And that's why I said Mark Whitten for the Cardinals when he hit 4 for the Cardinals.
Yep.
That's why I said Mark Whitten.
Honestly, Bill, that is something that we have all done.
Happens to us all the time.
You catch part of it. You're thinking. Sometimes I get thinking about the last question and miss something, so it happens to us all. Bill, we appreciate you.
even now, so I appreciate it. It'll take 2 more years to get in touch with you guys.
All right. Hey, Bill, thank you. I hope you don't wait too long.
No, if I would have won today, I would have probably had a problem because I work at the ballpark.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent.
And that's when I told
Marcia.
Jamie's got my book in the tunnel.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, so,
Excellent.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, we thank you, Bill. Maybe we'll see you at the ballpark.
Sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. I can see why he did that with the 4 home runs.
Yeah,
for sure.
When he answered it, I knew that he didn't hear it all the way through. And then when he heard it again, when Bradford read it to you, he's like, I didn't hear that. I missed that one.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. I said Lamar Jackson 5 times in one day.
Did you? For what?
It was bad. Not my finest moment. A couple of weeks ago.
On the Gauntlet.
Oh.
It is. There's something about being on air where your brain and some days just it gets in a loop or something.
My favorite text message from the Snake Pit that day, it made me literally laugh out loud. Bruns on the fumble. So true.
All right, good stuff. I like Bill. I had to get my revenge, but I like Bill a lot. He's a good guy. All right, it's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Sobering realization for one league, potentially. You ain't going to like it. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Open your 101 app for your shot to score a 4-pack of passes to the Route 66 Rockabilly Rod Reunion, Saturday, May 24th at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's going to be a full day of family fun and old school racing excitement with the nostalgic Drag Racing League and Match Race Madness.
Featuring front-engine top-fuel dragsters and nitro funny cars. Plus, check out a 1979 and older car show, music, food, and more.
Get all the details and enter to win free passes for the Route 66 Rockabilly Road Reunion right now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app.
is The Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
Just to see the evolution of how this game is evolved with our group. We have a brand new headquarters up in Arlington, which is incredible for our athletes. And just to see the amount of players in the last 4 years that have gone to the NFL, I think we've had 51 players that are under contract in the NFL. To see the growth, to see support staff that have had the opportunity to go to the NFL, if that's what they wish to do, it's heartwarming for all of us.
That is UFL president, CEO. I think he's also got the title of CFO, right? That's Ross Brandon of the UFL. I think I said CFL. I meant UFL. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Boy, Bradford really wanted to make all of us depressed, so he pulled some numbers on the UFL. And Bradford, we thank you for this sobering reality.
Just covering all sides, that's all.
Yeah. You know what? There's no room for your fair and balanced journalism in here.
I've heard that before.
Not from 2 to 6 in the Fast Lane.
Listen, continue.
CD. Going into April 13th's home matchup versus DC, St. Louis had averaged 32,531 fans in 12 games at the Dome since the renewal of the XFL in 2020. On an annual basis, that figure stood anywhere between 40 and 70% higher than the rest of the league. That's the good part. This is where Bradford likes to crap on everybody. Or just provide actual factual information.
That works.
May 2nd's matchup versus Arlington drew 26,684. So, not bad, right? Down, but still very good. League-wide attendance are slightly up, but last week's game in Memphis, and this one's jarring, the Memphis Showboats game drew 4,215 fans.
And that was the number given.
That was the number given.
If you watched, you knew what it was.
About 30 people. I mean, not great.
That might be.
So St. Louis still holding the water for the league, but I do worry. And I'm going to be at the game tomorrow. I'm going to take Madeline and Killian to the game, and I'm looking forward to it. Got some seats, but I am interested to see what the crowd looks like tomorrow. And I know the crowd that will be there will be into it.
Yeah.
But are we starting to see a dip now, even in St. Louis, when it comes to the UFL?
Well, I think you have to also mention that May 2nd game was also the Cardinals had a Friday night game.
Sure.
And the Blues had game 6, I believe, against Winnipeg.
Don't you dare.
That matters, right? So
yeah, it was definitely game 6.
People are choosing where to go.
And if you weren't at the game, you're probably at Ballpark Village or Cafe
there,
Telegraph.
Somewhere down.
With me.
With you. Correct.
In SoCo.
Yeah. So that for that game, I can. The numbers in Memphis are, I mean, you turn that game on, they didn't need to play in a stadium that big.
Right.
They could have played that game, and it's no knock against the Memphis fans or the fan base.
It's a definite knock.
You could have played that game in a high school stadium.
Yeah.
And it would have been packed, depending on the stadium.
What do you think? What do you think a high school, like a really, you would know better than I would. Class 6 high school game, big matchup. What do you think it draws?
It depends on who's playing. I know when we used to play back, and I hate to be one of those, back in my day.
Yeah, go
when
for it.
Hazelwood East and Hazelwood Central would play, you'd have 4,000 or 5,000 people at the game.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking probably tops out, like a really good high school matchup.
Rows
5,000
of people around the fence watching.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you would probably get that amount would attend a really good high school matchup of like 2 top tier programs, not for professional football.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is it's a bit problematic. It's an issue that I don't know how they fix that, if there's a way to fix it. You can't make people enjoy something that they don't want to enjoy.
Right.
And I think the UFL, and the XFL, and they tried at one point to put teams in places where there weren't any other fan bases and no teams that were going to be able to compete with them. No other football like San Antonio or Memphis or St. Louis now. That you tried to put them in places where you could hopefully draw fans because there was a need for
Memphis
people to watch.
Memphis doesn't have any professional sports that you're.
They got basketball.
That's it.
Yeah.
And obviously the Grizzlies, not great.
Yeah, they got a great player. He just has to stay on the court.
Right.
But yeah, there is. You try to put it in cities where you felt like you could draw, and for whatever reason, I don't know if those teams aren't located based out of those cities because they all practice down in Texas, and then they fly to the city where they're going to play at. Maybe that has something to do with the inability to get more people engaged, but it's not great when you turn on a game that's on ESPN and the attendance looks like that.
Yeah.
The optics are terrible in that regard. Now, there are a lot of things about which to get excited, not only here in St. Louis, because you obviously have this team led by the defense looking for its 4th consecutive victory tomorrow, but the operation at large, and you heard at the very top there, the clip courtesy of Russ Brandon, talking about how this league right now, heading into this season, you're looking to try to maximize and build on the momentum you have with the product, with basically the NFL bona fides, the invites coming thereafter, the engagement through social media, and also teams like St. Louis as much as possible, even though you've got that central hub, as was mentioned, in Arlington, trying to come in a day early, trying to do some stuff in the various communities, and then during the offseason as well. It's not for lack of effort.
Right.
However, before this season even began, I can't escape the reality here that, to me, there was a definite black cloud hovering over the UFL to some extent. Before week 1 even kicked off, we had the pushback or some of the justifiable concerns being voiced by key players to the powers that be, right? That basically clouded a lot of the narratives and some of the previews that you had even before week 1 even began. And I also can't escape, guys, in this market, and it is a great football town. It has been demonstrated through the years. Just look no further, obviously, than the last couple of seasons when somehow, someway, you still had that many people turning out for that product at the Dome with the St. Louis Rams. However, at a certain point, some of the more casual fans, some of the individuals who are aligning with that anti-Kroenke narrative, they start to drop off the board just a little bit. You have 1,000 here, 1,000 there. And when one city essentially is being held responsible for trying to keep this entire league afloat,
that's a lot.
I think that's where you really have some problems here, because you can right now, Carey and Anthony, you can rely on 2 markets to really rope in or bank on more than 10,000, if that, per game on a week-in, week-out basis. That's D.C., where the venue is such that you have just 20,000 seats, and maybe you can get to 10, 12 if you're lucky, and St. Louis. That's exactly why St. Louis is once again getting the championship game coming up in a couple of months. But I have some sobering reactions when I'm on social media and I'm seeing the excitement that's trying to be driven and engendered by early season ticket renewal requests for 2026. When I'm looking at the facts and the numbers here for 2025, and the trend isn't exactly going in the most positive direction.
No, so then the question becomes, and you know what, why don't we, maybe we can, because we're up against it here. Let's carry this over. The next question is, okay, is there anything that can be done? Let's get into that. We'll spend a couple minutes on it, and then we'll do the Sports Six Pack. But is there anything that can be done now? And I do have 2 ideas. I don't know if either are plausible, but 2 ideas that I got, and we'll again just spend a couple minutes on it. We'll get back on clock next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
Now listen to 101 ESPN On Demand. Get caught up on all our shows and podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. 101 ESPN podcasts are presented by the Schaefer Door Company. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Redbirds getting ready for Reagan's. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. This Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet plus Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Tonight at 6:40 p.m. at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. St. Louis continuing its road trip, beginning a 3-game set against host Kansas City. Your lineup, which hoping to benefit Andre Palante, the card starter, of course. It begins in left field with Lars Nootbaar, followed by Wynn, Donovan, Arenado, and Contreras. Ivan Herrera, your designated hitter, followed by Pedro Pajes, Jordan Walker, and Victor Scott II, rounding out the lineup for Ali Marmol. Again, the pitching pairing pits Palante against Reagan's for Kansas City. The Royals currently carrying that mark of 25-20, currently good for third in the American League Central. This evening, also on the ice, Florida and Toronto, game number 6, Eastern Conference second round series can be heard right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starting at 6:30, puck drop at 7. The Sports Center update has been driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
2 pros and 1 average show. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
Just spent a couple more minutes on this. So we're talking about the UFL. Now, in St. Louis, the UFL continues to carry the water for the entire league. It's, it is what it is. Even if the numbers are down just a little bit here in St. Louis from a attendance standpoint, it's still, at least even triple in most markets. So what can the UFL do as a whole, Jamie, to, I don't want to say offer a better product, but to appeal to more people?
So there's a text on here that I try to find. It says something I've been thinking about lately from 636. I've become less interested in the UFL. Last year I was watching every Battlehawks game on TV. This year I've only seen the first game, and I'm losing interest in the Battlehawks, and I can't really explain why.
Yeah.
And so I thought about this because I think that this may be the mindset for a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if it has something to do with the continuity of the team. Like when you often have a player that you really like, A.J. McCarron,
yeah,
and you go in a different direction. And it came to my mind, maybe the same thing that you have with St. Louis City. When the team changes so much, it is extremely hard to continue to root, because you don't necessarily root for a team, you root for players.
Right.
You root for favorite players on the team that you like. And that's why you have people who are LeBron fans, but they might not be Miami Heat fans or Laker fans, but they're LeBron fans. So wherever he is, they're going to root for him. So I wonder if there is something. I know the ultimate goal is to get these players to the next level and continue to have the transition. That's what you want. But I think at the same time, your product may be starting to slip, because if I watch you 2 years ago and you were my favorite running back and now you're no longer there, either you've moved on in life or you've moved on to the NFL.
Sure.
I now have to buy back into liking another player that I don't even know.
Yeah, I could see that. I can. I think that might be a component of it. And it, to me, it plays into, I said there's 2 things here. One, not realistic. One, I don't think is realistic. 2, it's going to be difficult, but I do think it's possible. And it actually, the second one plays into, CD, what you just said. I think when City was born here,
mm-hmm.
there was a charm to it. There was a charm to the team. They were the underdogs, first year. Obviously, they were playing well. But you started to your point, CD, fall in love with certain players. Whether that was Leuven or Berkey or Klaus, excuse me.
Yao Klaus.
There was a charm to it. I think if the UFL is going to have roots in a place, it needs to actually be in the city. I understand why they They practice and they have everything, to kind of keep costs down and in check. They run everything out of Texas. I get it. But if there's an actual connection to the city or the market that they're in, you probably have a stronger case of succeeding. If you know that these are the players that are practicing here, playing here, they're on your TV, they're in your local supermarkets and things, and it's marketed that way. Hey, St. Louis, this is your team.
All right.
I think it's a little different than they're flying in from Texas every once in a while and playing. I think there's a lost connection there. I really do. Yeah. Now, will that ultimately be the thing that saves the UFL? No. But I think you have a better shot if you can actually, if Memphis's team, the Memphis Showboats, the Showboats players, they're actually there. Think of a minor league baseball team. It winds up kind of being, if it's a smaller town, in some ways it kind of winds up being the identity of that small town. Hey, we have the lug nuts or whatever, And it's from a price standpoint, it's pretty feasible. If you're a smaller town, you go to it and it becomes woven into the fabric of your town, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's one way. If they could build some character, maybe that's one way the UFL can last here. The other way, which is more unrealistic because it would actually take the NFL, but the other way is it becomes the minor leagues of the NFL. And I've brought this up before, and CD, I know it probably won't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the minor league for the NFL is
college football. But if the NFL did want a spring league that they could use to develop a backup quarterback specifically, that could be one way to make the UFL profitable and sustainable.
When you say backup quarterbacks, you mean backup quarterbacks that are currently on your roster?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
I know, because of the injury standpoint. This is why it's not realistic. But hear me out. I'm just talking about from the how can the UFL be sustainable, right? Mm-hmm. And I've brought this up before. If the Green Bay Packers minor league team was the St. Louis Battlehawks, and at one point Jordan Love was sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, not doing a damn thing for 2 years, but he played 8 games for the Battlehawks, there'd be a different draw.
Yeah.
And you would get and it would have to work where it's like, again, the Packers are in St. Louis, the
half of those people,
Steelers are in Vegas or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, half of those people would be there to see if he actually died.
Okay, I get it. I do. I get
because
it.
Because that's the reason why teams wouldn't do it.
I
because
know.
You got to be able to protect your investment. Mm-hmm. I can't put you in a position where you're going to get potentially hurt.
Sure.
Harmed or maimed playing the game, and that's what football is. Like it is the get hurt sport. Like You're not here to. I don't want to tackle you and just lay you down softly. Now I want to physically put impact. Put pain on you.
Yeah.
And make sure that you know that I was there.
Yeah.
And so if you got a quarterback that
sorry, I knocked over my.
If you got a quarterback that you think is going to be your future, that man needs to be protected because the guys on the other side are like, I'm trying to kill this guy.
Right.
So
I'm gonna hurt this mofo.
Yeah.
Bradford, got some text?
Yeah, from the 314 for starters, guys. A few different complaints I've seen that we've read over the last 20 or so minutes. The schedule does seem to be a sticking point for some people. The UFL starts and both finishes too late, say a couple of different people. The XFL schedule was actually superior.
Interesting. So, because the XFL started a week after the Super Bowl, it capitalized more on
momentum for football.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. I don't know if that's the thing that's the sticking point, inevitably, but I think it's a great. I think it's a great point.
Yeah, maybe that
you don't capitalize on that momentum created. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, then there's another one as well. Speaking of the quarterback position, I think that was the key, Carey, that you outlined. The product this year, just not as much electricity from the home team last year and the season before. Obviously, you had McCarron at the helm. And even though the Battlehawks, honestly, they have retained a good amount of that talent, It's entirely different when you're talking about just the QB position.
Right. And maybe Max Duggan will endear himself to the fan base here, or the fan base will endear themselves to Max Duggan, and it won't be, something. I don't know. It's interesting nonetheless. All right, we got Beat the Streak and Bet the Board next on 101 ESPN.
This weekend, it's an MLB doubleheader. Tomorrow, Mets and Yankees Game 1. First pitch 12:05. Then Sunday, it's Game 2. First pitch at 6:10. Your home for the MLB is 101 ESPN.
I always love chatting with my guy Stewie because I always feel like I learned something. And Stewie's on the line right now. Stewie, talk to me about veterans and untapped equity.
You know what, Anthony? 60% of veterans, 60% are homeowners. Most of veterans, out of the 60%, only 13 or 24% actually have a VA loan. 13% of all veterans have not utilized their VA benefit. This is a real shame. Today, values of homes are the highest they've ever been. You can get a cash-out refinance up to 100% of the value of the property. Veterans, take advantage. Refinance at lower rates with no cost, or go up to 100%. Take the cash out. Improvements, buy some real estate, do some investing. It's a great opportunity. We don't know if these values are going to stay where they are. Take advantage now and do the best you can. If you're a veteran, even if you have a lower credit score, 600, 620, you can do this. Take advantage of the opportunity. It's one of the greatest things this country has to offer. You can do it now, but don't wait because you don't know if things can change.
But you do have to pick up the phone or text my guy Stu. We're at 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440. Call him, text him, day, night, doesn't matter, because Stewie hands out his personal cell phone number. He wants to help. He's waiting for your call. If he misses your call, he'll just call you back. But he's got all the answers for you when it comes to VA loans, home loans, debt consolidation. He can do it all. I've seen it for myself. Stewie, have a great weekend.
You too, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
We're good, streaking!
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
All right, time to play Beat the Streak here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Our guy Ben is back for his, I guess it's, streak number 2, hit number 2. Ben, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. We appreciate you being ready to rock here. Your latest streaks, Andrew Marsh is now up to 15. 15. He's destroying the record right now.
He's got eyes and ears everywhere.
Yeah,
Andrew
apparently.
Marsh.
Yeah.
You listening on your day off?
You jerk. So Marsh's got 15. Carey's got 7. Jamie's got a streak of 6. I have a streak of 2, and Ben's got a streak of 1. Marsh did send in his pick. He's taking Brendan Donovan. Brendan Donovan is his selection. Carey, you're up.
Oh, this is a difficult one. I don't know where to go. I don't want to do that. Give me Wilson Contreras.
All right, Wilson Contreras off the board. Bradford, Jamie's selection is...
We're going to go this evening with none other than, don't believe he's been selected, multitasking guy, sorry, not Lamar Jackson, Mason Wynn.
Mason Wynn has not been selected.
Right.
Nope. So Jamie's got Mason Wynn. I'm going to take Bobby Witt Jr.
Like it. Bobby. You like him?
Yeah, no, he's a great player. Yeah. Ben, who do you want?
I was going to take Bobby.
Sorry.
No, Ivan Herrera.
All right, there you go. Ivan Herrera for Ben. All right, there you go. That is Beat the Streak. Ben, good luck to you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate you. All right, from Beat the Streak to Bet the Board. All right, your latest standings. I have 7.
You think you're good?
No, I've missed the last 2. Jamie's got 5, Carey's got 5, and Andrew Marsh has 4. All right. They failed me last night, but feet don't fail me now. I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars tomorrow night. Minus 150 against the Jets to close things out. Carey doesn't believe it. Somehow he's a big believer now in Connor Hellebuck. But I think they close things out. Yeah, you love them.
That's not what I said. What I said was if somehow he's able to find a way to win this game, and it's a great game, confidence through the roof, watch out for those Winnipeg Jets going forward. That's all I said. If he can find a way to win. Now, if he doesn't, and he goes out there and they're screaming his name by the middle of the third period, probably because they chased him in the game they got to win, and he started his vacation already.
Yes.
Didn't even shower.
Nope.
Just got right on the bus to get ready to go back to the airport.
That's correct. That's the vision I have.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Give me Austin Riley, 1.5 hits, runs, RBI. Minus 140. Did you say what your number was? I didn't hear it. Was it minus 155? I would like
minus 150.
Well, let me check that. Make sure. Just make sure we since we gotta check behind.
You could check
everybody now.
You could check it
since people are clearly skirting the rules.
How safe can I be? Can you guys outline it for me?
Can you show me where you got that at? Because I got mine. Oh, I got minus 154.
Where are you at?
You know where I'm at. I'm looking at it. Now I got to check it. I got to check everything. I got what? They're 154. Minus 154.
I just refreshed. It's 152.
Yeah. The hell out of here. Get a new pick. Glad I looked. You won't get me. You might fool me once. You can't,
I literally
can't
just
get
refreshed it. It's 152.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me. Can't get fooled again.
To hell with it. Give me the Stars minus 1.5.
Yeah. That's the spite I love.
They're going to win by 2 now. I don't care. They're going to win by 5. Stars minus 1.5.
Yeah.
And I'm going to text you the box score when it's all said and done, when Connor Hellebuck lets in 5 in the first. It's going to be a nightmare. I'm into nightmares.
6.
Minus
6-5.
1.5. Stars minus 1.5.
All right.
Freaking nightmare.
Yes. All right, Bradford. Now, do you have selections for both Jamie and that cheating SOB Andrew Marsh?
We do, actually. Would you prefer Marshy or Jamie first? Who has the honors?
Technically, Jamie has the honors.
Jamie has the honors. Okay, so in this instance, yes, for Jamie, some Royals, Redbirds talk earlier in the program, and we focused, in addition to Bobby Witt Jr., on Salvador Perez, not exactly having the typical bang-up season offensively. His over-under hit total tonight projected for 1.5. I'm actually going to be slamming the under on that one at plus 175. I think that's very favorable. He has just 1 hit, so Jamie, as a matter of fact, is articulating that. But yes, Jamie, that's his selection. And then also we're going to swing it over to Victor Scott II with a rather difficult matchup against the lefty in Cole Reagans. His total bases figure, again, this does not count walks, so it has to be reaching courtesy of the hit. So Marshy in this instance hit is so single, double, triple, home run. Okay. Yeah, he has to reach base courtesy of a base knock.
There you go.
So yes, for this one, also in the plus category at about plus 160 at the moment. Victor Scott II to go hitless this evening per Marshy. So that is minus 0.5.
Damn, Marshy.
Way to go, Marsh.
Ready to go.
Hope you had a nice day.
Hope he goes 4 for 4.
314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you've got a question for us, part 1 of our Sports Six-Pack is next in the Fast Lane.
Get your foursome together for a full day out on the course with TMA, including complimentary breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, the Michelob Ultra, the 100 West Dental closest to the pin competition, a long drive contest courtesy of Pondoff's Anonymous Recovery Podcast, and an after party with food from Texas Roadhouse Thursday and Super Smokers Barbecue Friday. A portion of the proceeds will go to support the St. Louis Hero Network in honor of Brian McKenna. Friday's foursomes are already sold out, and remaining spots for Thursday are filling up fast. Find all the Dotem info now at 101ESPN.com. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer.
Underdog Fantasy is the spot where you want to play all your NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, UFL, NASCAR, PGA Championship. They've got all the selections for you. They got their extender program going on right now for the NBA playoffs. You got game 1, you play game 1 boost, and each time that the game moves on and the series continues, longer the series goes, the bigger the boosts are. But Underdog, leading place to make all your sports selections. You can play now in the state of Missouri. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. It's super simple. It's a lot of fun to play, too. You could go to Underdog, and then when you choose a player that you either like or hate for the matchup, go higher or lower on their stats. So if you don't like the matchup, you can go lower on points, assists, rebounds. You get the idea. If you really love the matchup and it's basketball, you can go higher on his point total or higher on his rebounds. The choice is up to you of how you want to do it. But once your entry feels good, you can play for as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, all courtesy of Underdog. Download the Underdog app. Sign up with my promo code Anthony to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, that promo code is Anthony. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend HTML for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
WXOS, WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
I have a question.
It's time for the fast lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane, where it's 5:06. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marsh today. Question 1, please, Bradford.
Question number 1.
Like this one, guys, from the 636, we can combine a couple of different elements NFL-wise. So, as of about an hour or so ago, the 49ers reached an extension with the QB Brock Purdy, an additional 5 years, roughly $266 million as it appears. So with Purdy now locked up, the original question was, the schedule released a couple of days ago, what are the odds that San Francisco gets right back in the thick of the NFC West race this coming season?
They play in one of the tougher divisions. The Rams made it to the second round of the playoffs last year. And you forget, they actually had the Eagle. I wouldn't say they had the Eagles, but that game was close.
2 years ago?
Last season.
Oh, I thought you meant 2 years ago.
No.
No, that was, what year was it? What am I thinking about?
The Eagles lost to the Bucs on the road.
Not that year.
2 years ago. Last season, the Rams routed the Vikings at home.
It was 3 years ago.
And then last year went to the Link, and it was tight. And the Rams actually had the ball deep in Philadelphia territory. And I don't know if Stafford threw an incomplete pass or intercepted or something like that.
I'm thinking of a couple of years ago when Brock Purdy's arm was shot and they had Christian McCaffrey playing quarterback.
That was 3 years ago.
That was when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl the first time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anthony et al.
Yeah, that was Brock Purdy's rookie year.
It merges all together.
Right. Anyways, my point is the Rams could have beaten the Eagles last year at the Link. They're a good team. They're young. Now, Stafford's health is always a question, whether or not he can stay healthy throughout. But the Seahawks won 10 games last year, and the Cardinals are at least they're competitive. I don't know if they're a playoff team, but they're competitive. So I don't think. Long story short, I don't think the 49ers. It's a foregone conclusion that the 49ers are suddenly right back there in the NFC West conversation.
Yeah, I think like you said, that is a competitive division that they're in, and that team is getting a little bit older. They've gotten long in the tooth. Deebo Samuel, no, not there. Mm-hmm. Brandon Ayuk had a season-ending injury last year. See how well he bounces back if he's able to, when he gets going and is able to get things going in the way that he needs to.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey missed a lot of time. He dealt with some injuries last year. So you're dealing with. You can look at it both ways. You can say, well, they're getting more banged up the older that they get, or you can also say they didn't play a lot, some of those guys, so they should have fresh legs. But I think we'll see how offensively how they look. But yeah, I think I don't know if this is the thing that moves the needle in a way. It just starts setting your team up to have to start to get younger at other positions. Once you pay that quarterback, you're going to have to start drafting well, which the 49ers have done a really good job, but you're going to have to start drafting well and making sure that those guys that you do draft are impact players right away, because you're not going to be able to afford the Deebo Samuels anymore,
right.
the Christian McCaffrey contracts anymore, Trent Williams contract. At some point, all of those guys are going to be going different directions, either retiring or moving on, because it's not going to be enough money to split up between everyone.
In a much different way, this kind of reminds me of the Seahawks when they started to break up.
Yeah.
When they started to pay those guys. And I don't know what you do, because you're trying to reward the players. Right. You're trying to reward the players that got you to that point. Brock Purdy, you call him a system quarterback and all that. He is somebody that fits very well in Kyle Shanahan's system. And if the second that you say, no, you're not worth it, well, now you're on the search for another quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I don't care that he's Mr. Irrelevant. That is irrelevant. the fact that he fits in Shanahan's system, that's the key. But you're right. Now that you've handed out these contracts to Deebo Samuel, handed out the contract to George Kittle, who got an extension as well, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk last year. Like, at some point, the bill comes due, and you have to draft at an exceptional rate to keep your team relevant.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They do have the easiest schedule. Take that for what it's worth. I think it's going to be difficult. 49ers are going to be competitive. I just don't know if it's a foregone conclusion.
Question number 2.
Interesting news coming out of Philadelphia, from which the Cardinals just took 2 of 3. So one of those starters, the last one actually for the second half of the doubleheader. Aaron Nola has now gone on the IL with an ankle injury, apparently something with which he has been wrestling over his past 2 starts.
Sure wasn't his confidence?
Maybe not.
You know how that goes.
In any event, you have an ERA. There you go. One of our basic stats we love. North of 6 this season. Here's the question. Do you think, pitching depth compromised whatsoever, are the Phillies going to be hanging with the Mets? Can the Phillies beat the Mets for the NL East division this year?
Not without elite pitching. The Mets have the top pitching staff in Major League Baseball. We were having the conversation earlier about, is the Royals from a pitching standpoint, is this like the big litmus test for the Cardinals? Actually, they already have the biggest litmus test, which was the Mets. The Mets have the number 1 staff in all of baseball. They have the number 1 pitching staff in baseball. So, no, I think the Mets, assuming that everything stays the same here, they've got more than enough offense, but they've got the best pitching staff. So I think that they wind up winning the NL East when it's all said and done.
Carey, I'm not sleeping on Atlanta either.
Yeah, they
working in the weeds,
getting healthy, and they started off they started off stinking to begin the year, and they're starting to figure some things out down there as well. So
they're weird. Like I love the Braves. I love but there just seems to be something missing since they won the World Series.
I mean,
3 years
their
ago,
best player.
Well, something's missing. Acuna. Yeah, good call.
I mean, yeah.
Are you talking about Acuna by the missing player?
I think that might be.
Yeah.
You can start there.
Yeah, true.
He's not happy either. Check the social media. He's not happy.
Yeah. I mean, the Braves can't be happy either.
You want him playing?
Hey, Hey, tweet. Ron. We know you're upset. We're not thrilled either. We're paying you to nurse another injury.
Rehab.
Yeah.
Nah. He'll be all right.
I don't know.
Okay.
No, he'll be fine.
Question number 3.
Mets.
We have another UFL-centric question, actually, from the 314. So in light of some of the talk that we had during the 4 o'clock hour, what do you guys think about the UFL almost being set up a la in a level-like way, courtesy of, say, comparable to European soccer or football? So you've got the Champions League and so on. Basically, this texter is proposing the 2 worst teams in the NFL play the best 2 teams of the UFL, and then these teams have a case to actually keep players, build, develop, etc. Pie in the sky, I like it, but is it tenable?
CD, I feel as though that you absolutely hate this idea.
Well, I don't want to poo-poo on anyone's idea. It takes a lot of time and guts to come up with an idea. I don't like it though. I don't think any NFL team in ever is gonna finish their season dead last.
Mm-hmm.
What they finish? Dead last? Yeah, had a good day.
Had a nice day.
I don't think they're gonna finish dead last and then say, you know what would be more embarrassing than being the 0-16 Detroit Lions of 2007, losing to the UFL champion. Mm-hmm. That's how you want to put a bow on a perfect season. That's what you do. Hell no, you don't. You go home, you start planning for your first pick in the draft, and you get the hell out of people's faces. Not never happening. And I feel the same way when people are like, oh, this college football team could beat this NFL team. No, they cannot. Stop it. Let me tell you why. Because everybody on the NFL team is what? In the NFL. And everybody on that college team ain't going to the NFL. What? So that's not going to happen either. So I don't mean to poo-poo on your idea. I appreciate you texting.
I don't think you mean to. I just think you are.
Do you think I am? But I was polite. With all due respect.
With all due respect.
I didn't start it by saying that. My apologies. With all due respect, I don't like the idea.
Okay.
Not going to happen.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, never.
All right, we'll carry this over. Sports Six Pack Part 2 Keep those questions coming into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack Part 2 next.
101 ESPN has your shot to score tickets to Wiz Khalifa and Sean Paul.
With special guest, DaBaby, on July 21st at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
Find all the details and a chance to win free tickets for Wiz Khalifa and Sean Paul right now. You can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams.
Presented by the Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
This is the Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane. I'm Carey Davis, joined by Anthony Stalter and Bradford Bruns, filling in for DJ Marshy Marsh. Bradford, question 4, please.
Question number 4.
All right, guys, let's take it back to baseball from the 314. If the right situation or package presents itself come July, could you actually see the Cardinals pulling off an Army-esque deal involving Walker or Gordon? So I guess pushing forward into the future for assets.
Gorman?
Walker or Gorman?
Either or.
No. I could see Gorman. I don't think he does anything.
You wanted to trade Walker yesterday. You wanted to sit him on the bench.
No, you did. Well, you wanted to trade Walker.
You wanted to sit him on the bench.
Yeah, just for a time, just for a small portion of the time. Not.
What, you want him to go on the Aaron Nola IL plan? Your ankle hurt, Jordan? You need 10 days? I'm going to give you 60 days, huh?
No, not
that's
60.
Yeah. That's what.
Confidence, I think, is like a 15.
You know how you gain confidence?
Day IL.
You know how you gain confidence?
Striking out all the time?
Nah, you don't gain Anthony.
Keep playing him?
Yeah. Having success. Now, question.
He's got to have the success.
But can you have the success if you're watching?
I'm not saying bench him for the whole year.
You said bench him forever. In perpetuity.
Said platoon him.
You said a P word. It was perpetuity.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I heard you.
Anthony, I love that word. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, see? Run the tape. We never found out about your Derrick Henry
story?
take. Yeah, it didn't exist.
I'm waiting for. I know there's a listener out there.
Didn't exist. It existed in your mind.
Bradford. Jamie Rivers sat here a couple of days ago and shared a great, anecdote from Nick Saban on Derrick Henry. The problem was I had already shared that exact same story weeks ago, and these two mother fast lanes
allegedly
say that I never said it.
Allegedly.
He was in the studio at that time.
He was in the studio.
There's no tape to prove it.
Well,
there is actual tape. I just haven't found it yet.
Do I need to make that a homework assignment?
Yes.
Hey.
I had said it. Whoa, somebody shared the text that it was probably between, 2 and 4?
Maybe.
There was a text, because Carey's not going to do it now, between 2 and 4.
Okay, so it's a long-term project, but all right.
It is,
Bradford, it's a waste of time project because it doesn't exist.
Bradford, I would not send you
exist.
On a wild goose chase.
Bradford, turn his mic down so you can hear me. If you find it, send it to me first. We don't have to worry about getting it down. I have something special for you. You can turn it back up.
Don't you want to ruin Jamie?
No, I'm on his side. I can't ruin him in this. No, if I was
Don't you want to ruin yourself?
No. Doesn't exist. Doug's tariffs. I heard it. Where's
Thank you,
the proof?
Doug.
That's we got a lot of witnesses. I don't have no weapon. I don't have no video evidence. I just got word of mouth.
I'll find the murder weapon.
Yeah.
I will.
It doesn't exist.
I'll find the murder weapon and I'll find the tape.
Exist.
It's out there.
Nah.
Was there a glove on the table that day? I feel as if we're treading into glove territory.
And if it doesn't fit, you know the rest.
You must.
There was a bloody glove.
I'm just saying.
At one location, as well as the other location. There was blood droplets.
That we're not denying.
Throughout the Bronco. DNA.
Not denying.
From both victims. Both victims and the accuser. Throughout the Bronco.
Say C, damn it. You know what this is.
Anyways, I'll find the tape.
All right.
Question number 5.
Being tempted by multiple parties here. All right. To the rink tonight. And actually, just over an hour, we're going to have pregame for Game 6, Toronto and Florida, as the Panthers look to close it out in that series. But let's shift it back to the note. The 636 asks, at the end of the day, will Jordan Binnington have enough in terms of stats, championships, credentials to make a Hall of Fame case?
Oh, man, I have no idea.
I don't know the criteria. Like, does he have to win a Vezina trophy? Like, do you have to be the best at your position at any point in your career in order to be a Hall of Famer?
I feel like when it comes to the Hall of Fame, it's longevity, it is impact on the game, and there's got to be stats included. So
is Connor Hellebuck a Hall of Famer?
No, he hasn't won jack nothing.
So you're just basing this off of a team? Because there are a lot of players that...
What has he done for his team?
How many Vezina trophies does he have?
How many playoff series wins?
It's a team game, Anthony.
I realize
Dan
that.
Marino never won a damn championship. He's not one of the best quarterbacks to play the game? Wow. Write that down, Bradford. 524.
Got it.
Anthony Stalter doesn't think Dan Marino is worth a damn because he never won a championship in a team game. All right. Yep. Thank you.
How many records does Dan Marino have?
Now?
Yeah.
Probably not many. They all got surpassed.
So he's got an MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, NFL Man of the Year.
And nobody expected him to come back ever.
3-time All-Pro, first team, 3-time second pro, 9 Pro Bowls, 5 times he led the league in passing. Connor Hellebuck couldn't hold Dan Marino's jockstrap.
Just ask the question, man.
I'm going to let you guys play in that lane. Here's what I do know. In order to qualify for the Hall of Famer, especially the goaltending position in the NHL, it is like playing first base, incredibly difficult. Probably even more so. Because here's the thing. Seriously, since 2006, guys, here's your list It encompasses 6 names, 6 guys since 2006. So basically close to 20 years from our modern NHL era goaltenders who've been inducted. Now, you tell me, with all due respect, at this point in time, whether Binnington belongs in that class. You've got Ed Belfour, Dominic Hasek, Martin Brodeur, Roberto Luongo, Patrick Waugh, and Hendrik Lundqvist. Case closed.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably
Nope.
not.
Okay. Yep. All right. Great.
Good talk.
Bradford could have just led with that. Then I wouldn't have to get into the whole Dan Marino jockstrap thing.
I'm just a dogged journalist today. Yes.
Yeah, yes. You sandbag and you know what? That's what you were doing. You were sandbagging us.
Indeed.
Question number 6.
Let's round it out. This one will be fun, guys. Can you give us what is your favorite sports logo, regardless of the sport, in ever, Bob?
Oh, wow.
I almost did it. I almost did it, and I caught myself.
Okay.
And I'm proud of myself. So I owe you one, but I didn't do it. I didn't do what you think I was going to do. I almost did it. Certain animal biting into a stick.
It's a pretty cool logo, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You think so?
I think it's a very cool logo.
Okay.
But that's where I'll stop.
Okay.
And I know you will as well.
Right.
That is a cool logo. I'd almost have to go. Why don't we do this? NFL.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
End of story. I mean, it's iconic. It is. There's nothing like it.
You know, I hate to admit it, and it's not iconic, but I kind of like the Bucks logo.
The Buccaneers?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Is it the pewter?
Milwaukee
Love that
Bucks.
pewter.
It's the skull. It's the skull. It's the skull and the swords and the flag. Yeah, I like it.
The most iconic one, in all honesty, for football is going to be the Raiders.
Yeah, I almost went there too, but that is an iconic logo.
The Raiders is amazing. Like, come on.
Yeah, let's go Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah.
All right. Raiders for football. NBA?
I used to like I really did used to like the Miami Heat logo when I was younger.
Mine is the Bulls.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's been the same for 35 years now. Mm-hmm. No need to change it?
Nope.
You know when the Bulls came out with those black uniforms with the red pins?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the pinstripes? Yeah.
Oh, man. You can't tell me that wasn't the best time to be alive. I won't argue with
Except
nobody.
for when Jordan wore that stupid 45.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
I may have had a Pippen jersey or 3 in that design.
Or 33 of them.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going Bulls for NBA.
I still like the Heat. That's a good one.
Heat, all right. Mm-hmm. Hockey?
Ooh, let's see. I'm a classic. I like the classic. I kind of like. You probably think I'm weird for this. I kind of like the Rangers.
I don't think you're weird for that, but I like the Statue of Liberty alternate Rangers.
Okay,
that is my favorite sweater. When you get the Statue of Liberty on the front and it's the dark blue.
The other one. And maybe it's because it reminds me of the Raiders. You know where I'm going?
In hockey?
Mm-hmm.
Because it reminds you of the Raiders, and it's kind of just iconic?
Yeah.
The Sabres?
No.
They got
Kings.
2 swords in there. Oh, the Kings.
Yeah. The silver and black.
Yeah, okay.
Like because they were the L.A. Raiders at once. Yeah. Like at one point. Like
remember they went purple?
Yeah.
They went purple for a second? Like, what are we doing? Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then in baseball, I've shared this before. I mean, terrible
Nothing
team.
like the birds on the bat, huh, Anthony?
The White Sox.
Oh, that is a good one.
The White Sox.
The D for Detroit.
I do.
Is yeah.
The old English D for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Yep. But the White Sox, honestly, might be my favorite uniform. The black helmet, black home jersey, white with the black pinstripe pants.
With the socks on it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It looked so good a couple of years ago.
They played
I
as
went
well
for
as
the
they
first
looked.
time
Did you?
to the venue and actually saw that combo. Yeah, the ensemble.
So you were at guaranteed rate?
It was guaranteed rate at the time, I believe, yes.
Right.
And the White Sox were promptly throttled by the Astros. Bregman hit 3 jacks. They literally scored 18 runs that day.
But you were there.
But it was awesome.
The pinwheels out in center fields. Yeah.
Underrated park. I think so.
I really like that park. When I lived in Chicago, I would rather, I know Wrigley with all that, but Wrigley, let's be honest, it's a trough, right? Like it's a dump.
Literally.
It literally, I get the historic, I'm not taking away the historical aspect of it, right? It smells like urine, right? Like that's a fact. Comiskey, guaranteed rate, U.S. seller, whatever. That park is clean. There's something about it, and when they're wearing those home black uniforms, man, it's awesome.
Lots of Tim Anderson posters at the time. That did not age well.
Tim Anderson, no, not at all. Not great. Is he still in the league? Remember, he's a Marlin for a second.
What happened to him?
He signed. Hold on, let me think. He had a spring training invite. He did. Yeah, Angels.
Angels. That's right.
He had some off the field.
He had some
things
off
going
field
on.
stuff. Yeah, not great.
Oh, Timmy.
Turns out he may allegedly not be a great human being. We have a baseball mic drop for next segment. You can feel free to leave us some more Scott Lee Heating Company mic drops via the Dobbs Star Notice Center's 101 ESPN app. But we'll get to that mic drop next. Is it Cardinals related, Bradford?
MLB wide, basically. Lots of good MLB conversation today at the quarter poll, not to be confused with Marshy's poll.
That's right. Yeah, which is not active right now. No, because he's golfing.
Oh.
Nope. Wow. That poll is not up. Not right now.
Okay.
Some baseball chatter next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
Hey, it's Carey Davis for Window Nation. And if you didn't know, Window Nation has been St. Louis's trusted window pros for years, providing reliable, durable windows built to keep your home secure and comfortable. They know what matters most to you: home security, insulation, and comfort. The windows from Window Nation are built to keep your home warm in the winter and cool in the summer and secure year-round. And it's going to be a hot summer. You want that cool air to stay in. And Window Nation's semi-annual sale is back, so you need to get to them. Help keep your house cool this May. Save money every month on heating and cooling all year long. Right now, you can get 60% off and a free entry door when you buy a house of windows. 0 down, 0 interest, 0 payments for 2 years. Pay nothing until 2027 and get 2 free Cardinal tickets when you replace all your windows in your home. And those new windows can be installed in 1 day or less. All you need to do is visit them today. Call 866-90NATION or online at windownation.com. Get your free in-home estimate right now. Call them at 866-90NATION or visit them online at windownation.com.
Start your day with the morning after on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, and Martin Kilcoy. Listen to TMA weekday mornings from 7 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The morning after is presented by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Closing in on first pitch at Kauffman. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. In roughly 1 hour from Kansas City, the Cardinals and Royals will be kicking off their 3-game set. Andre Palante on the bump for Ollie Marmol. He will be opposed on the mound by none other than Kansas City star lefty Cole Ragans. Ragans will have to deal with the following lineup: Lars Nootbaar, Mason Wynn, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Arenado, and Wilson Contreras, your top 5 hitters, followed by Ivan Herrera at DH, and then Pedro Pajes, the catcher, as well as outfielders Jordan Walker and Victor Scott II. Elsewhere around baseball, interleague matchup pitting the Cubs against the White Sox. It is a final. The Cubs pound those White Sox by the score of 13-3 in just under an hour on 101 ESPN. It is your home for the NHL postseason pregame for Toronto, Florida, game number 6 of that Eastern Conference second round series. The Sports Center update has been brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
2 pros and 1 average show. You're listening to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So we did get a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app from Evan, who was listening earlier as we talked about baseball at the quarter pole, discussed not only the Cardinals, but the most disappointing team. And to me, it's the Baltimore Orioles. But let's hear what Evan had to say.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Not Cardinal related, but it is baseball related. I love what Manfred has done with the game with the pitch clock, other changes he's done, but I cannot believe this hasn't been addressed already. Why can't we just get a clear-cut, precise ruling on what a freaking balk is? I swear to God, you see it called when it doesn't look like it, and then it's vice versa. It's the most annoying rule that has a fast lane amount of gray area.
Wow, that honestly, sometimes it's interesting just to kind of sit around. Like, we always love saying that this show is like sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
And anybody and everybody can pull up a stool and just kind of, chat. I don't think I
You didn't see that one coming?
I didn't see that one coming.
Okay.
Evan just sat up. He pulled up a stool, put his beer down, and he said, "Hey, boys.
What do you think a balk is?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know anymore."
But I appreciate the passion for it.
Yeah.
Because we get talking sometimes about, like, the NFL.
Yeah.
For a while there is like, what's a catch? What's not?
What's roughing the passer?
What's roughing the passer?
Not?
Yeah. So I appreciate the passion, but it's honestly, balks happen so frequent, or they don't happen infrequent. Thank you. That I don't think about it that much.
I don't either.
I thought when he started that, he was going to start talking about the challenges.
I thought he was going to talk about balls and strikes.
Which, yeah, makes sense too.
Which is, you want to challenge those, don't you? Yeah. Automated referee, umpire.
Oh, man, I don't want that.
Automated you don't want the
that.
robot?
I don't.
You don't want the call right after. You are I want the call done correctly. I don't give a fast lane how
umpires
it's done.
Umpires are part of the game.
Yeah, so was Don Joyce. Wasn't it Don Joyce?
Jim Joyce.
Who's Don Joyce?
You're thinking of Don Denkinger.
I combined them.
You combine
them. One and the damn same, Anthony.
You combine the two most infamous
the damn same
umpires
people.
That
terrible calls at first base.
It's the anniversary weekend with the Royals. I know why you did it. 85. They're celebrating 85.
Don Denkinger, Jim Joyce. Yeah, and Jim Joyce, of course, is the umpire who blew the Armando Galarraga perfect game call, or was it a no-hitter?
It was a perfect game.
It was a perfect game.
Perfect game, Anthony. And that young man just smiled.
He did.
He's a better man than I am. I can tell you that. Because they know damn, I'd have been glad. That Jim Joyce would have went into the dugout and just not even finished the final half of that last third inning that he needed to get. He'd have just went it. I'd have been staring a hole through him. I would have been in my wind-up looking at him at first base, not even giving a damn where the pitch was going. I was just telling you. That's how much the things that you get when you throw a perfect game, you go down in the record books. That's historic.
I mean, it's been such a infamous call, though, that Armando, like you remember Armando Galarraga's name. I don't know if you would remember that. I mean, obviously, if you threw a perfect game, you would. But I think I remember more. I think I remember Armando Galarraga's name more than I do some of the pitchers that actually threw a no-hitter or a perfect game.
For sure.
I think about I can't remember his name. Pitcher for the A's.
Exactly.
Brady, I think. Might have made that up. Brandon.
Dallas Braden.
What
about the great Philip Humber of the White Sox?
Of the White Sox. No kidding.
I don't remember him. I remember the name.
You almost remember the play that was made in the perfect game or no-hitter. Mm-hmm. For example, Mark Burley, his perfect game, or I can't remember if it's a perfect game or no-hitter, excuse me, off the top of my head. But the center fielder who made the remarkable catch to save Burley's game. I forget the damn center fielder's name.
So you're proving your point.
I guess I am.
Yeah, you remember Armando Galarraga and
right.
Jim Joyce more than anything else.
Jermaine was not playing center.
No, it wasn't him.
I can tell you that.
It's like a backup. Mark Burley, perfect game. Catch. What was his name?
I have no clue.
I'll find it.
You find it and let us know. Can I make a quick shout out real quick since
Of course you can.
I just want to give a shout out to all the people downtown, down in the city that were hit by this tornado that are dealing with some things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just keep your heads up. Hopefully everyone is safe and sound. Yeah, man, be careful.
Absolutely.
It's a dangerous thing. I'm seeing videos of some of the damage down there. So
it's so quick too.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, obviously tornado's quick, but I mean the way that the weather came in and moved right out. Mm-hmm. Good call, CD. Dwayne Wise.
There you go.
Dwayne Wise made the play in center field. Unbelievable catch to preserve Mark Burley's perfect game.
Speaking of names, I did want to actually get your guys' thoughts on the one name referenced by Evan in our mic drop. That would be one Rob Manfred, because back in the news, understandably so this week, what with the announcement that MLB, at least, Manfred and company, willing to reinstate Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe, etc., for consideration. That doesn't mean that the governing body, the voting committee, will necessarily fall in line. But when you think about all of the different elements put into that umbrella, if you will, for Rob Manfred, and we've had how many years now with him on the job, all the different things, whether you're talking about different rules being implemented, the pitch clock, the good and the bad. Your thoughts right now on Manfred, and how, if we were to talk about legacy in the here and now, what is that for you?
Well, when it comes to Pete Rose, I don't think the writers are going to vote him in. I really don't. I don't think they're going to vote him in. I don't think they're going to vote any of the steroids guys in. And I'm talking about like the known steroid guys. I don't think the writers are going to. It's not going to pass their on them. But as far as like separating that and just talking about Rob Manfred's impact on the game. From a legacy standpoint, I do think he deserves some credit for trying to make the game more digestible in a shorter period of time. Some of the game times, I mean, nobody from because it's a TV product, right? Like these are all these sporting events. They're baseball, I think less so than other sports because people do enjoy the weather. You go down to the ballpark, you make an event of it. Mm-hmm. I still don't know if you need 4.5 hours to do that. So I do think some of the game, some of the rule changes that he has made, when he comes to this pitch clock, excuse me, let me add the L to that. The pitch clock. There's no roosters. Rob Manfred did not add any roosters. To the game.
I mean, there's innovation, and then there's that.
Yeah, I don't think that. I really don't think there's any roosters that need to be added to the game. A pitch clock. clock added to it. I think there's some of the things that he's done to speed up the game. I think is good, and I'm one of the few that don't mind the fact that he expanded the playoffs to include more wild card teams. I think more playoff games are better.
I think Manfred has done.
I said clock, right?
Yeah, sure. If you said it, I believe you. He's done a good job. He's come a long way from the piece of metal comment that had people seething.
I think you did a horrible job in the COVID situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that was I think almost anybody was going to struggle with that.
And he did.
He mightily. He did. He's the best of the worst.
We need sports. We need some red. You know what? You're going to wait your damn turn, all right? We got to figure this out with the MLBPA.
Yeah. But no, I think I'm happy for Pete Rose. Didn't see him play, but I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Shoeless Joe Jackson. I'm happy for these guys.
Why are you dead?
I wish, well, not them specifically, for their families, their legacy. I wish that everyone that is voting would step off of their high horse and keep it on the field. And I understand that there are criteria. I feel that way because of what they did to Terrell Owens. Like, Terrell Owens wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer because people didn't like him. And he never had any real off the field issues. The most thing you remember about T.O. is him lifting on his driveway.
Sit-ups. Yeah.
Doing sit-ups.
Yeah.
Like, that's why people don't like Terrell Owens. He's a diva. Now, show me a receiver that's not. So I think
Jerry Rice.
That he's a diva too, I'm sure.
What?
I'm sure of it.
Jerry Rice?
All of them. All of them.
You know,
Anthony.
CD, you said some things.
All of the above. Every single one of them. The ones that are superstars, they got a little diva in them. They want the ball every play. So the people that vote these people in, and I don't knock people that didn't play the game. I think you still have a right to say what you feel, but you should ask the people that played against them. Those people, or the people that are in the Hall of Fame themselves, those people should also have a say in what's going on. It's not you're taking away something from people that worked their asses off their entire career. Imagine you working your entire career for something and you make a choice. I won't say a mistake because it was a choice, but everybody's making that choice. And now you can't, get the things that you worked. You worked. You made a choice. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I think those guys should be able to be in the Hall of Fame.
Carey, eggplant emoji from the Snake Pit has a bit of a suggestion.
Oh.
Okay.
Isaac Bruce. Was he necessarily an alpha in the same way?
He's not a diva.
Yes.
Yes. Tory,
Way to go,
Tory
eggplant.
Neither one of those guys. Those guys, yeah. All right.
Hines
There's an
Ward.
exception. Hines isn't a diva. Hines wanted the ball. Hines wanted the ball. But, okay, all right. You named 3 receivers out of 5,000. We probably got a few more.
Julio Jones.
He's probably a diva.
What?
You don't think he wanted the damn ball in the red zone when they never threw it to him?
They just gave
Anthony?
it. They threw it to him all the time.
Nah, he just couldn't catch it.
Julio?
Yeah.
No, he caught it.
It was time where he was not scoring any red zone touchdowns.
Well, touchdowns are
hard to come by, especially
random
when you're the Falcons. I know. What we got next? What happened?
Hurt people. That's what just happened. You're being a real big rooster right now. We'll wrap up this show next on 101 ESPN.
Sunday, Thunder and Nuggets Game 7. Pregame at 2, tip-off at 2:30. The NBA playoffs are on 101 ESPN. yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or the 101 Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Just a couple weeks away from the return of the Morning After's Dotem Golf Tournament, refreshed by Michelob Ultra. The Dotem returns on May 29th and 30th at Oak Valley Golf Course and Resort. Friday's foursomes already sold out, but spots still remain for Thursday, May 29th. Get your foursome together for a full day on the course for Team A, including complimentary breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, all your Michelob Ultra, the 100 West Dental closest to the pin competition, a long drive competition, courtesy of Pondoff's Anonymous Recovery Podcast, and an after party with food from Texas Roadhouse on Thursday and Super Smokers Barbecue on Friday. And a portion of the proceeds will support the St. Louis Hero Network in honor of Brian McKenna. Find out all the Dotem info at 101ESPN.com. Bradford Bruns, great job today. Appreciate you pinch hitting for Andrew Marsh. What'd you learn today?
Always a pleasure, guys. I learned that even on May the 16th, it may not be a football Friday, but it is a heck of a lot of fun to talk gridiron and some pigskin, among many other topics with you gentlemen.
Well, we appreciate you. Amen. Carey.
I learned that Anthony doesn't refresh his computer, and because he doesn't, he uses spite as his reasoning for the next pick.
You knew that already.
I did know that.
Yeah.
I learned it even more today.
Definitely. I would like to say that Carey and I, and maybe Bradford as well, we all learned that even if there's a tornado outside,
listen,
and everybody's running down the hallway, nobody's going to pop in to say, hey, fast lane, get the fast lane out of here. It's just do your job and shut your mouths.
Yeah.
Unless you're on air, then open them and talk.
Even during the storm of the century.
Yeah.
And maybe it wasn't the storm.
Everybody's running.
I mean, I was coming in and I almost got knocked. I was like, what's going on here?
Nature, you're scary.
What's happening here? The phone was buzzing.
I know. My phone went off right when Bradford was doing his update.
And they're taking off. And I'm like, should we?
Nah.
Maybe. Possibly.
It's fine.
It is now.
Yep. Bradford, got some criticisms and compliments.
Some compliments, yeah, despite missing, obviously, Jamie as well as Marshy. Looking forward to getting those guys back on Monday when the new week begins. Lisa, as per usual, she has that sunny disposition, says, guys, have a great weekend. Was quite the show. And don't forget, you've got Art in the Square, apparently, in Belleville this weekend.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
If you're interested, yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. You have a great weekend as well, Lisa. You want to do 3 stars?
Let's do it.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, guys, we've got a couple of late nominees. And with respect to Tony La Russa, we have a tie for 3rd place. That would be, yes, it would go to Dwayne Wise as well as, wait for it.
Oh, no.
Rob Manfred's pitch clock.
There we go.
There it is.
I like that.
You have to.
Yeah.
Just like
an L
clock. Yeah, no roosters.
For star number 2, we give it to the old school statistics. How about the FIP? Well, you know what? You can just fast lane ... because batting average and ERA run the day.
Yes.
Carey didn't even like on base.
Nope.
He's real old school.
Base batting average. You get a hit or not. The only true outcome I give a damn about.
No advancement for Carey. Just give me that old school stat. Just give me that old school stat.
Yeah.
Batting average.
Stat.
Yeah.
And for the top star of the day, we would, of course, be remiss if we didn't give it to all of those who have assembled to help in the St. Louis region following the very strong string of storms sustained earlier this afternoon. We appreciate everybody's efforts and obviously wish everyone the best over the course of the evening moving forward.
Yeah, well said, Bradford. Absolutely. Everybody, I hope, for the most part, everybody was safe throughout the course of the day today, although, as Carey mentioned before, some damage being created in the city, right?
Yep.
So, again, hopefully that everybody gets the help that they need, and if you're somebody that can help, please. That'll do it for us here in the Fast Lane. Bradford, again, appreciate you. We got Panthers Maple Leafs pregame in half an hour, so we got instant replay, then Panthers Maple Leafs. Puck drops at 7 for Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Bradford Bruns, and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.